Well, hello, very warm welcome to York Hall, the iconic, the amazing York Hall. We are back here live on Box Nation, and there's an international feel to tonight's fight night. Nelson Hysa, unbeaten in 18 fights, big heavyweight, makes his UK debut. And just before that, his good friend, the unbeaten light heavyweight, Alban Bermetta, also makes his UK debut. Big international feel, and I'm delighted to be in the company of the notorious GAD. Mr. Gareth A. Davis, how are you?
Very well, thank you. As you say, it's the heat of the York Hall. This is the only boxing venue in the world. Well, when it's freezing outside, it's warm in here.
It certainly is. And do not adjust your sets. Do not be silly. It's the Commonwealth champion. It's Sam Gilling. How are you, Sam?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
Very good. Last time I saw you here, you were just knocking someone out and doing what you normally do. Great to be back here.
Yeah, I mean, this is like my second home. I mean, I love it here. It's the best place to box. The atmosphere, when this place gets rocking, there's no place like it.
I think you had your debut here as well as most of your fights, right?
I did. I had my debut here on a Sunday, and I think there's more people in here now than there was that day to watch me. So we've come a long way since then, but no, it's a great place.
And Gareth, I know you're fresh back from Texas. I know you've seen the brightest lights of Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, but a little birdie tells me you actually prefer York Hall. You prefer it here, right? Come on.
Listen, this is the spiritual home of East London boxing, where the Queensberry rules began, of course, where bare knuckle boxing was 400 years ago, the first records of it. This is an amazing place. Magic dust in here, as you'll know yourself, Sam. It brings something special out. We've got Albanian madness tonight, haven't we? When the heavyweight walks out, Hysa, 18-0, as you say. He sold the place out. He's got a massive following from all his martial arts expertise from his days in Albania. When he walks out against Bracamonte de Argentina, this place is going to go crazy. It's lovely to be here. Always is to be with you two as well.
Sam, what is it that's so special about here? Because, as we say, you've done a lot of your career here. And you were telling me earlier, when you're in amongst it, when you're having a hard fight, it all comes on top a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that.
It literally, like you say, it literally feels like the fans are on top of you. And I mentioned one of my fights. I was inside, and I meant to be focusing on the fight, but I just remember thinking, it is loud in here. There's no feeling like it. You can actually feel the atmosphere. I know that sounds mad, but you can. You can feel the crowd's like energy going for it, and it brings you to another level. And that's why you get so many great fights in this venue, because it does drag something else out of you.
It certainly does that. And tell me this, you, from your perspective, having this Box Nation mic in front of you, you're also telling me earlier you were a subscriber back in the day. Good to see you on Box Nation.
I know. I mean, I looked at the mic and I was like, blimey, I've come a long way from being from pestering my mum, going, Mum, can we order Box Nation? Can we order Box Nation? So sitting there as a kid watching it to now being stood here talking to you guys is a pinch myself moment.
Well, Gareth, are you pinching yourself? That Box Nation brand, it's back. I know you're doing interviews with Umar pretty much every week. Box Nation's alive and kicking.
Yeah, and I was very lucky to be involved in a show with Alex Steedman years ago called Boxing Matters, where we were allowed to digest anything we wanted to every week on the show. It was a brilliant show. It ran and ran and ran. There were repeats after repeats. People got fed up of us saying the same thing, but it was because we'd pre-recorded it. Box Nation has been a very special thing, and it's brilliant to see it back because it was the first of its type. You've got to look at what Frank Warren has done in his life, what the Warrens have done. It's like a rabbit warren in here.
It is.
In the changing rooms, by the way, there's lots of little rooms. It's a very special thing that the Warrens have always done, particularly Frank, driving a hole through the cartel in the 80s. First guy to break that hold on boxing when it freed it up. The first guy to really make a big difference on Sky Sports. The first guy to create this Box Nation channel just over 10 years ago. It was ahead of its time. So Frank moving as he is into the digital era, onto the app as he once called it. It's not an app anymore. It's great to see. Boxing is in a very, very good place at the moment.
It's in a fantastic place, and just to say on that, there's so much going on right now. This is a heavyweight headline tonight. Nelson Hysa against Bracamonte. This heavyweight division is just thriving right now. So much happening, so many news stories every week. Throw in this guy, 18-0, 16 knockouts. He'll have all of this place going absolutely crazy tonight. Great to have another character in the division, Gareth.
Listen, the viral moments are there for the heavyweights. We know who the top 10, top 12 in the world are at the moment. Frank Warren's got about 7 of them. Fabio Wardley moved very adroitly and smartly under the Warren or the Queensberry management banner. I think that's a brilliant move by him. He's probably number 9 in the world at the moment. We expect an imminent announcement of Daniel Dubois against whoever. He could fight anyone in the top 15, and it makes big noise. And obviously we're under a month away now from Tyson Fury trying to win back perhaps the title of the best heavyweight of the era rather than the belts right now.
Tick-tock, that is soon coming up. And Sam, listen, you're a big boxing fan. I know you follow your heavyweights. How are you seeing it all at the moment? I bet you can't wait for Fury 6.
I mean, it's like Gareth said, boxing's in such a good place at the minute, and it's come from, like, obviously with everything going on in Saudi. But, I mean, it's the biggest fight in boxing, ain't it? Like, to see them two go at it again, the first fight was so good, but this time we've just got to hope and pray that Fury brings it home.
He's got to bring it home. He has to. If he doesn't win, he's not the number 1 of the era. He did brilliantly for 7 rounds. He's got to be more aggressive this time. He's got to stop Usyk from coming forward. There are risks in that. Listen, it's a brilliant fight. It was a brutal, brilliant affair 5 months ago. Cannot wait to be there.
Well, let's learn more about tonight's show. Have a look at this.
Disabled people are forgotten about and excluded. It's a real fight for disabled people on a daily basis just to survive.
There's nothing wrong with being disabled. 1 in 4 people are disabled.
Society, when you look at disability, is seen as quite negative.
Disabled people are always fighting, and we shouldn't have to fight. It should just be a right.
Everyone should feel included in today's society.
Every time that Matt steps foot into the ring, he represents change.
Hopefully someone gives me a chance and lets me fight and lets me compete for my country.
Just because you can't see our disabilities doesn't mean that we don't have them.
If he doesn't get a licence, he's got no one to fight, and he shouldn't be held back by some technicality.
We do feel like we are not part of society in many different ways.
If you suddenly lost your hearing, you suddenly lost your sight, how grateful would you feel if there were people around you who were so understanding and wanting to help you?
What can we do to assist you? That's what should be the questions and answers, not no.
I want to get people to understand the importance of why we're fighting for what we do. We've got to see people's talents first rather than the disability.
So much pressure on one man's shoulders, and he's just embraced that. So that's why I've just got so much respect for that man as a fighter and as a human being.
Well, delighted to be joined by Ollie Bessel, Mr. Warren Boxing Management himself. How are you?
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
Very, very good. We're just speaking to Gareth. He's excited. I know you've been excited all week. Tell us what's on your mind about this big Albanian feel at the top of the show.
Well, for starters, look at the setup in York Hall tonight. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, every time we do a show here, it gets a little bit better, and now we're looking around. It's like a little mini Riyadh season here tonight. So first of all, I want to say, you know, the aesthetics of the place are fantastic. But in terms of the fight card itself, obviously all eyes are on Nelson Hysa, as you told me his name was pronounced yesterday. You know, it's a big night for him. He's looking to showcase himself in the UK. This whole event has been structured around that, his UK debut. Absolutely fantastic record. We know he started late, but 18 wins, 16 knockouts. We're all excited to see him, but for him it's not just about tonight, it's about showcasing himself and see where this can take him, but it's going to be a big night.
It's going to be a big night. As we say, we've got Alban Bonetta, unbeaten light heavyweight, also on the show. Someone you've kept a bit of an eye on, Gareth?
Yeah, absolutely. The light heavyweight battle will be brilliant, but I'm interested in Emmanuel Zion, 6-1 against Ryan Makok. Emmanuel Zion is a train driver, and I want to know if he's going to leave blood on the tracks tonight.
And that is why Gareth A. Davis is here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Lovely lines like that. But that could be fight of the night. I keep hearing that one could be fight of the night.
You know, we were talking about the card before the show, as we do. We sit there and we run it down and we start to have little predictions about what we think is going to happen. That's one of the fights we're all looking at and thinking, yeah, that could be a war in there. We know Makok. We know he's going to come and he's going to fly in there at 100 miles an hour. He's an experienced boxer. He's going to fight but also, you know, he's very durable as well. So it's going to be a really, really interesting matchup. I can't call it, but I'm with you guys. I think, you know, that's one of the fights to look out for tonight.
What I really like about the heavyweight fight, the main event tonight as well, is Bracamonte has been in already against so many names in the UK, the Dave Allens, the Fraser Clarks. So there's a chance for Hysa to signpost himself, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, if you look back at some of his fights previously, you know, we're talking about his record, but there's been some opponents he's gone in there and kind of steamrolled it a little bit. I'm interested to see what happens when a fighter comes at him. You know, if his opponent stands toe-to-toe with him tonight and goes to war, anything can happen. So it's an intriguing matchup, although we're building the whole event around Hysa, and rightly so. You know, it's boxing, and as we've seen recently, anything can happen.
Do you know what's interesting? We talk about Bracamonte there. You kind of never know what you're going to get. The first time we really learned about him was when he came over, he boxed Dave Allen. It was meant to be a bit of a routine win. Gave Dave Allen fits that night and busted him up. It was a horrible night for Dave Allen, but he got the job done. Then we've seen him take Jarrell Miller the distance, but then get knocked out in 2 rounds by Fraser Clark. I don't know what to expect, Gareth.
Well, he's going to be in the Lion's Den tonight. We talk about the electricity with Sam Gillies just now about in this arena when you fight. And with 1,000 or so Albanians in here tonight, and he has got a following, rather like Florian Marku, they come here, they're a fight nation. He's going to have a partisan crowd, and I think he works well when his back's against the wall. So we'll get the best Bracamonte tonight, in my view.
And in terms of tickets, I mean, all I keep hearing is that he's done the venue himself. Everything else is a bonus, but he's pretty much sold out himself, right?
Again, you know, we've worked with him now for a few weeks on this show. We've worked with his team putting it together. Tickets flew out the door. You're absolutely right. He pretty much sold the place out himself. But his team have been an absolute dream to work with. They're really getting behind him. They wanted him to have this opportunity. Clearly, his fan base wants him to have the opportunity as well. So, I mean, it's all on a plate for him. What can he do?
And Box Nation are busy. We were here a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be here again in another couple of weeks. Give us a little snippet. What's coming up, Ollie? A
lot coming up. Obviously, we've got a huge night tonight, and then December the 8th, we're on a Sunday here at York Hall. Dolan Redstall, all-female main event too. It's going to be another, I would say, huge night, but it's an evening on a Sunday, so it's going to be slightly different to a Friday. But look, I said to you and Andy a couple of weeks ago when I was stood here, the Box Nation shows are getting bigger and bigger. Not just that, we've got such great experience around us in you guys. You know, Andy's on the commentator desk tonight. Queensbury, you know, all of the people around us, such great experience for us to learn from, improve these shows, and we think we're giving the viewers real value.
Well, you're hitting a big female main event here with Warren Boxing Management. A perfect time, in my view. As I said, I've just come back from Texas. 50 million people on Netflix watched Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor in what was, well, I've never seen a cut like that and someone carry on for 4 rounds. Incredible fight. Women's boxing will have been augmented by that.
And by the way, yeah, if you want an advert for women's boxing, it was that. That's what we'd want to do, to put there in front of all those eyeballs, put Katie Taylor in with Amanda Serrano, and they delivered. And well done, Warren Boxing Management as well. That's probably your first all-female main event, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, from our point of view, again, we've had Raven on commentary previously, for example. We have worked closely with female boxers. You know, we've got a number of them in our stable now. And you know, the standard of female boxing is improving all the time. We look at what Raven and Sky Nicholson did over in Riyadh. You know, they made history over there. Katie Taylor and Serrano, they've been to war a number of times now. So it's only right that, hey, let's start showcasing them on our shows now as well.
And with regards to the Box Nation schedule, you've talked about the Sunday night boxing. Of course, the night before that, TNT Sports, the Magnificent Seven at Wembley Arena. And the night before that, we're on Box Nation for a big show in Liverpool, Ollie.
We are on Box Nation. We've got Lee in and Let's Go Management doing that show. He's going to come on the live stream a little bit later on and talk down that card too. But again, you know, I said it last time, these Riyadh season shows have filtered all the way down to grassroots boxing. And what we're seeing now at York Hall, we never would have seen a couple of years ago. And, you know, I think it's all linked. 2
heavyweight fights on that card as well, that Queensbury card. Very much looking forward to the comeback of David Adderley, injured. Now Solomon Dakers, they'll get in a ring together. And Lawrence Sicoli, already ranked number 5 with the WBC. he's got a big future ahead of him in the heavyweight division, in my view.
What a division, honestly. Gareth, in your time covering the sport, can you remember a time like this where there's a character popping up every week, there's an unbeaten contender, there's a guy who people are avoiding, there's a knockout artist, all of this going on, all at the same time?
I do belong, unfortunately, with my age, to the era of Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno and all those guys. So since then, with that slumbering heavyweight division by the Vladimir Klitschko taken over by Tyson Fury, I think the last 8-9 years, but particularly the last 2 or 3, as you say, with the Saudis and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and the intervention, if you like, we've never had it as good. We've got the whole world talking about ranking the top 15 heavyweights in the world at the moment, and we know who they are. That's the key.
And also, I was looking at the Ring Magazine top 10 earlier. Did you know, gentlemen, 7 of those top 10 have all boxed here. At some point in their career, they've all boxed here. So if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. You're cool, you're cool. And listen, I guess Nelson Hysa is trying to make it tonight.
Do you know what? You say it all the time. It's the spiritual home of boxing. And it really is. You know, we've been all around the world. You guys spend half your lives flying around the world to all the major venues. And there's nowhere quite like York Hall. So
Correct.
Tonight, again, hopefully another blockbuster night.
What are you actually expecting, Gareth, from Nelson Hysa in our main event tonight? We haven't seen an awful lot of him, but he's big in Albania. He's become a bit of a star over there. This is his chance to show what he's all about. What are you expecting?
He's very precise and very dangerous. 13 knockouts from 18 wins, no defeats. He will be looking in front of his own people to walk out to a Tirana reception tonight, and he will be a terror in there. I think Bracamonte will give his best tonight, but I'm looking at a knockout within 5 or 6 rounds.
Look, and I'd imagine a lot of this place will be very happy if that is the case. If Bracamonte does pull it off, mate, I'm running.
We'll be joining you, Dev, I think.
I'm sticking around for that. But Gareth, what you brought up in terms of the heavyweight fights on the Magnificent 7, Sol Dacres, David Adley, that's been building up for the best part of the year. The face-off that I hosted is now out on the Queensberry YouTube. Check that out. Bit of needle between them. It's exactly what we need. It's the level below the Fabio Wardley, but they want to get there.
Listen, Solomon Dacres has looked fantastic so far in his career. This is a real acid test for him, a proving ground for him, a fight to really cut his teeth on. Look how Fabio Wardley has gone since defeating David Adley in Saudi. That was a big build-up. The scrap at the press conference. Big fight. Very important fight for both men.
Well, let's begin our very important night live on Box Nation. Let's head over to your MC for the evening, Mark Burdis, and your commentary team, of course, Mr. Andy Clark and Nouman Hussain.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to viewers of Box Nation, streaming through the YouTube channel. Please welcome into the ring from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, Adam Yaya.
And a very warm welcome, everyone, to ringside at York Hall. This is Adam Yaya, 34 years old, from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, an experienced fighter, 23 wins, 15 defeats, has worked his way up through the weights as well, started down at minimum weight, and he's been a regular visitor to the United Kingdom. This is his 12th fight in the UK, his second here at York Hall.
And please welcome into the ring from Dagenham, Essex, Karim Agis.
We saw Karim Agis on the Box Nation show in this very ring back in June, and it was an absolute banger against Kurt Wiggins. Wiggins was making his pro debut, good amateur, boxing out of the Salisbury Club in Liverpool. Agis put him down twice in the opening round. Wiggins managed to hang in there, battle back, and in the end Agis had to be satisfied, not that he was, with a draw over the 4 rounds. And that was his first fight in over a year too. Very much enjoyed watching him that night. He's had one since then, a split decision win in Malta just a few weeks ago actually. He's good to watch. A rematch against Wiggins would be terrific. I think everybody wants to see that, and maybe that can happen.
Ladies
but
and
a little further down the line.
WBM and Let's Go Management, in association with our proud sponsors at Gladius, present our first bout this evening. It's a 6 3-minute rounds international contest in the super bantamweight division. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner with 23 wins, 12 by KO and 15 losses with 2 draws to his name. Weighing in 8 stone 6 pounds, and tonight he wears the black and white shorts. Please welcome from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, Adam Yaya. And across the ring in the blue corner, also weighing in 8 stone 6 pounds, and tonight he wears the camouflage shorts with an unbeaten record of 3 wins with 2 draws. Please welcome from Dagenham, Essex, Kerim Agis. Your referee in charge is Mr. Sean McAvoy of Islington. He will then give his final instructions to both boxers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 6 3-minute rounds.
So our referee just draws these two to the centre. They needed to put some tape on the wrists of those gloves of Agis just to protect the opponent from the laces. And this scheduled for 6 rounds. Joining me on commentary, fresh from a tremendous win in this very ring a couple of weeks ago against Fayakudin, is Newman Hussein. Newman, great to see you.
Thank you very much, Andy. It's an absolute pleasure to be here alongside you.
Still basking in the glory of what was a really good stoppage against Fayakudin. We'll get to that during the course of the evening. And this our opening fight of the night. Agis in the, I'll call that camouflage of sorts. Yaya boxing out of the southpaw stance in the black and white.
Good start from Karim.
He's a busy fighter, isn't he?
Very.
Looking to chop down with that right hand, didn't quite land it. Yaya plants those feet wide, which gives him a good base to punch off, but those restrict your mobility a little bit. There's quite a big size difference between the two, isn't there? I know they weighed in at basically the same weight, but as we mentioned, Yahaya's come up from minimum weight, from 7.5 stone, and you can see that, can't you, when you look at him?
He looks naturally the bigger guy.
Again, looking for that short right hand there, Agis. The right hand connects that time and just causes Yaya to take a little bit of a backward step. He's not offering too much back, and that's a good right hand lead from Agis. The referee just having a quick word about pushing down on the back of the head. He brought him onto that well, didn't he?
Very well. Karim's a very, very good explosive counter puncher. I've actually seen him in the gym spar a lot.
That was a good right hand into the body, into the final stages of this first round. It should be quite some night tonight. That double Albanian presence up at the top of the bill. They've sold some tickets harks back to the days of Kreshnik Kato. I remember him from a few years back now. He sold this place out time and time again. Florian Marku in more recent years. But there's big support for Albanian fighters in London. There always has been, hasn't there?
There is. They're very supportive of their own. I think it's because they're a minority, and they're very, very kind of close as a community.
So round one comes to an end. That was an Agis round, and this is one of those fights where you wouldn't imagine that Yaya is going to cause him too many problems. I mentioned that fight against Wiggins. He had the split decision win in Malta, which was maybe a little bit tighter than they were expecting, possibly. Yaya, generally speaking, has won in Tanzania and then lost when he's hit the road, so he's got not quite a 50-50 record, but not far off. You get that quite often, fighters with these two-tier records where it's padded to get the wins that they need to make them an attractive option, essentially, for contests
absolutely
like this. It's not the easiest thing in the world, is it, trying to open up somebody who's maybe not offering too much back?
Absolutely, especially you've got someone super negative, so they're not offering you those shots or the counters. So you've got to create them. And what you can see Karim doing is pouring out the jab. He's trying to get a reaction off him. Not committing himself, just...
Oh, he came square there as he threw a left and then a right hand, Yaya, and almost got caught by that right hand. That's exactly the kind of thing that Agis will be looking to try and make him do. He needs to be careful, Yaya, doesn't he? Because he kind of waved in a wide loopy left hand. There was nothing really on it, and his back foot came round, and all of a sudden he was in the danger zone.
So I think the last time Karim was out here in York Hall, he started a bit too fast, and now I think he's pacing himself. He doesn't want to burn out. He wants to finish the fight strong, which he looks like he's doing.
It was such an interesting fight, that, because he put Wiggins down twice in that first round, but as you say, he did put a hell of a lot into that opener.
Yeah.
And you can understand it. It'd be hard not to, wouldn't it, when you have that level of success? But then Wiggins won rounds 2, 3 and 4, hence we had the draw. Not that Agis was particularly enamoured with the scoring, but it was an absolute firefight.
Yeah, I think it'll be an incredible rematch. I think they're going back and forth on social media as well, trying to hype it up, which is great.
Just turned southpaw there, briefly. And just staying in that left-handed stance. Good solid shot. Agis just warming to his task here. I think what he's going to have to do against someone like Yaya is keep the tempo high.
Very. I think also when Karim gets, from mid-range to close, he needs to work. Good right hand.
Right hand into the body, final few seconds of round 2.
He's having fun in there, Karim.
And there was that left hand at the start of the round, and then tried to follow it with a right. He's got that kind of posture, Yaya, where he looks like he might be about to unravel. The way that he takes a shot,
yeah,
he's got that rubbery kind of style, hasn't he, where he gives some ground and you feel like he's going to be there for the taking, but that's just kind of how he rolls with it.
And I think that's what's making Karim a little bit reluctant, because it's very difficult to say.
Seconds out. Decent crowd gathering at York Hall. I think towards the end of November the temperature has dropped all around the country, but certainly in the capital. But it's always warm in here, whether it's November, whether it's March, whether it's the height of summer in July. They always keep it nice and hot. They're nowhere hotter than up in that ring under those lights. People talk about the particular atmosphere of boxing here. Agis just trying to maybe tempt Yaya into something there, trying to get him to make a little bit of a move.
Taunting him.
He wants him to engage more.
He
don't
does.
Think that would necessarily be the best idea for Yaya. It'll be interesting to see whether he does or not. Yeah, indeed, because got caught by a right hand there, and again.
Good, very good.
And Yaya, I think, is hurt here. The legs just seem to buckle slightly. He just tries to follow it up, and he masked it well with that kind of loose, relaxed gait that he's got, but you could see as he stepped off to his right that the knees were just loosening a bit. That's a good right hand into the body. There's a long time left in this round, and he needs to keep this tempo high, just keep working, keep throwing those combinations, stay right on him.
Absolutely agree with you, Andy. I think he needs to throw a combination. He's throwing a lot of single shots, hoping to get him out there with a big shot, and I think he needs to do exactly what you said, put combinations together, and he'll get his man out there. Yeah, see, there you go, 2 single shots, 1 again.
Little uppercut on the inside. He stoops over Yaya. He's taking some stick in this round. And 3 more rounds to go after this. But credit to him, he's looking to try and get on the front foot there and get a little bit closer, because this is the kind of range where it's really dangerous for him. Close is safe here for Yaya if he can get there, but Agis isn't really allowing him to do it. Just trying to work him over on the ropes. Yaya with his back square, trying to slip and roll and evading some of these, but by no means all of them.
Yeah, Karim needs to work there.
Just short with that arcing kind of overhand right there, Agis, as Yaya slumped into the ropes, connects with a left hand, and towards the end of the round there again, just an example of what we were talking about. He looks unsteady, he looks like he's about to come apart, but it doesn't quite happen. But mid-round there he did hurt him, just right up above us.
Definitely hurt him. It's tricky because some of these guys, their entire body language tells you they don't want to be in there, and you know they're ready to go, and then suddenly from somewhere they just loop at you. That was a very, very good round for Karim. I think I'd like to see him just step it up with a bit of just take out the power, in a sense, overloading, just put your combinations together, and I think he'll get this guy out of it.
I think it's one of those scenarios, isn't it, where volume could do the job for him here,
and force the referee to step in.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Because when he gets hit, he looks terrible, and you know if he can't defend himself, the referee will intervene.
Round 4.
So into round 4, this scheduled for 6. So into the second half of the fight here. He's been stopped 4 times, Yaya. Some good names on that list as well. Jack Turner most recently. Andrew Selby a few years ago now. What a fantastic fighter he was. It didn't work out for him as a professional, unfortunately. I remember seeing him beat Christopher Rosales when he'd had a handful of fights as a pro, and he beat him comfortably. Rosales went on to become WBC flyweight champion, but unfortunately for the younger Selby, it just wasn't really to be. Good right hand into the stomach there from Agis, who's boxing southpaw again at the start of round 4.
I think the feedback from Karim's corner was, let's target the body a bit more and really soften him.
Led off with the right hand there, almost found its way up between the forearms, not quite. The key often in these types of fights, in any fight really, is trying to catch somebody with something they're not really braced for. When you're boxing in the away corner, you're kind of braced all the time, aren't you? And that's where maybe the varying up the weight of punch, if you can just sneak one through that they're not properly ready for, then you can make an impact.
Hence the volume punching, or, you know, punches in bunches. This is good.
Minute remaining in round 4, and this is the point where he needs to really get to work here, Agis. He's had 2 minutes of landing some decent stuff, but he's got to just try and raise the temperature in that final minute.
Absolutely agree with you, Andy. I think he needs to just up the pace, put his shots together.
Some good work off the ropes there, though, from Yaya. Just managed to turn off those ropes, stoops in there and catches an uppercut pretty clean on the chin. The Tanzanian. Gesturing at Yaya there, just wanting him to engage a bit more. He's not going to do it. That's not really what he's here for. He's going to have to work the openings himself. 4 rounds down here, scheduled 4-6. Let's just have a quick chat about your fight a couple of weeks ago. It was a terrific top of the bill. As soon as I saw that fight made, I thought that's interesting, because I knew that the pair of you knew each other, you and Fire Goodin. It was a good match, really good atmosphere on the night, and from your point of view, it couldn't really have gone any better, I don't think.
No, I think I was honestly, ultimately, I was pleased with the performance. I was pleased with the fact that I went 7 rounds, so I've never been 7 rounds before, and I got the TKO. Faik is a very tough man, and like honestly, I think it was the perfect time for me to fight him, and yeah, on to the next.
Seconds out, round 5.
So into the 5th.
Good work for Karim, but again, I think he's again looking for that money punch where he lands one big shot and the guy goes over.
Just swinging a big loopy overhand left there. Yaya needs to do something every now and again to make Agis think, to not just allow him to walk forward without any fear of what might be coming back. That was a nice combination on the inside there from Agis.
It's difficult with Yaya because sometimes he gets hit, and because of his balance isn't great, he's rocks off balance, so it looks like he's hurt, but he's not actually hurt.
Midway through round 5. Agis leading off with the right hand there, got through, looking for the hook on the inside. There's a touch of frustration about him now, I think.
Agreed. Karim may be a little bit frustrated here.
It's interesting with fights like this, though. Sometimes a fighter's maybe a bit too keen to try and force a stoppage, and as the old adage goes, the more you look for it, the less likely it is to come. And then sometimes in the final round, they just think, you know what, forget about that, I'll just box. And then they get it.
Absolutely.
But Yaya does a pretty efficient job of covering up just about enough, and that's a good example there of how he manages to just take his feet back and ride punches. As you've been saying, it doesn't look pretty, it doesn't look all that balanced, but it works for him.
It does. He has his hands up and he just steps across, takes the sting out of the shot.
And again, that was a good right hand from Agis. The way it landed, the kind of biting point on it, everything was good. But because Yaya's never really coming forward with any particular pace, he's never kind of rigid and set, really ever coming onto a shot, is he?
No.
Even if he is coming forward, he's not doing it with a great deal of gas. So if you do catch him coming forward, he can still he can manage to handle it.
Sixth and final round. I think Karim will come out guns blazing now, knowing it. Like, you can see he wants a stoppage. At this point, it's, you know, all or nothing.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out, 6 and final round.
So, touch of gloves between these two. Karim Agis has gone diligently about his job, boxing out of that blue corner, but so has Yaya in the red corner. His mission, Yaya, was to come here and get through the rounds, and the signs are that he should be able to do that, but you just never know. Agis needs to really just put the pressure on, keep that pressure on. That's a decent combination from Yaya, though.
Oh, I was fighting back here.
He's having a bit of a go in the final round, planted his feet there and just went to the body. And sometimes what you'll see from away corner fighters late in the fight, if they expect that a real onslaught is coming, sometimes they'll be aggressive in the first 20 seconds or so just to try and make their opponent think, and then that'll buy them a bit of time, and they can maybe get through the first minute of it. It slipped by and their opponent hasn't really had the chance to do much.
Absolutely.
Right hand on the inside was really close there from Agis. It just grazed the chin of Yaya. It was falling in, having just bounced off the rope slightly. That's a good combination, the right followed by the left, and goes down to the body with the right hand. He's doing the right things here.
It's maybe Yaya's best round.
It's a round he's offered the most this round,
yeah,
hasn't he?
Definitely. I mean, he's not winning. This is good from Karim. Last 40 seconds. And switch to southpaw and back to orthodox.
Again, just looking to see if he can keep that tempo high in the final few knockings of this one. Yaya got through with a little uppercut. Half smile on his face.
Yeah.
Yaya, I think he knows that he's going to make it through to the finishing line, which, as I said, he generally tends to. Not too many people have managed to stop him, and just sets his feet and looks to swing that right hand right towards the end there. Bell goes at the end of the 6th round. An embrace between the two. Yaya has come here and taken care of business, the kind of business that he is here to do. Agis, I think when Umar speaks to him at the end, he'll maybe be a bit frustrated he didn't get the stoppage, but it's difficult, isn't it? You know, you're up against someone who is looking to get through the rounds, who's experienced in getting through the rounds, and what probably happens is you fall into the odd little trap that you tell yourself you won't, but you just can't help it.
Absolutely. You know, especially you got someone there who's not really throwing back, who keeps moving off, so you have to reset. It's almost impossible. But I think great effort from Karim. He displayed good boxing. That was a good little exchange from both of them in the last round there.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest 60 points to 54. The winner in the blue corner from Dagenham, Essex, Karim Agis. And a round of applause for the brave and gallant Adam Yaya.
A bit of good humour between the two at the end there. 6 rounds to 0 for Karim Agis. That one scored by our referee Sean McAvoy. It was the only way you could score it. I think he'll be happy enough with that. He's been active in the last few months. He had about 14, 15 months out after making a quick start to his career. Came back with that cracker against Kurt Wiggins in June. He's had 2 since then, and that's what he needs, isn't it? Basically, activity is so important. You see it at all levels of boxing, at the very top, right down towards fighters in the early stages of their career.
Absolutely. I think to get rounds in is just as important. You know, you knock everybody out. People want to know, can you box the entire duration? A good way to end the year, I think.
Always good to get one in before Christmas.
Definitely.
Okay, here he is down ringside with Umar.
Well, 6 rounds in the back there, Karen. It looked at times you were going to get him out of there in the 2nd or 3rd. Did you feel like that as well?
Do you know what? Yeah. Again, like, to be honest, I was told to try and do the 6 rounds. Get the rounds under my belt because we've got something deeper in the pipeline. So it's going to be longer rounds. So I've got to get used to these 6 rounders. And against someone like that, he's just done 6 rounds with Ryan Fragg. And it was like, from what I remember, it was like 58, 56. So and I've just won 60, 54. And that's the Commonwealth champion at Superfly. So yeah, I'm impressed with that. I should have stopped him. I can't be bragging about all this power and not stopping him, but there was times there and I thought, you know what, he's more durable. He was making it tricky, coming in with the head. But he's a journeyman. They know how to survive and they know how to make it rough in there. But I won 60, 54, so every round was convincing.
Bit of showboating early on as well. That's just part of you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, listen, at the end of the day, people work so hard to pay to come and watch all these shows. Yeah, they want knockouts and everything, but also they want to see a show. And at the end of the day, I'm Kid Dynamite. I showed Dynamite in there tonight and also a bit of flamboyance. So who didn't love it, do you know what I mean?
Karen, you said something's in the pipeline. Listen, there's no secret. That could be Kurt Wiggins early next year. So is that what we're gunning for, yeah?
Listen, he's got to get through at the 15th December. All respect to him. But when it comes to it, it's just business. And I will nail him to the floor.
You believe you stop him, yeah?
100%. 100%. I just wanted to get the rounds in, and I couldn't even do 4 rounds with Kurt last time. I'd done 1 round and was blowing out my rear end, damaged hand. I'm good, I'm fit, I'm ready to go. I was having fun in there. Like you can tell, I was going up the gears and I weren't coming out of first again. I was just enjoying myself. And at the end of the day, at these early fights in my career, I should enjoy myself. Do you know what I mean? So I'm enjoying myself in there. put a little show on and win in style.
Just finally, do you want to send a message to Kurt down the camera?
Listen, all the best 15th of December. But in the new year, be ready, because I am nailing you to the ground, son.
Karen, well done. See you soon.
Well, Kerem Agis keeps his unbeaten record going. Said he wanted to get the rounds in there tonight. Got a good few rounds in. What did you think, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, he done well. I mean, I think he could have put his shots together a little bit more disguised, because he was throwing the one shot, looking for the knockout. I think he could have maybe just changed his pace, and then put the hard shot in, just disguise it a little bit more. I know Gareth's itching to jump in and disagree with me, but
no, I'm not going to itch. I'm just going to get in. I'm going to disagree, because I thought it was a shutout performance, 60-54. I think he looked, apart from the last round, he was caught by a couple of shots on the ropes. He was dismantling him. That's a 40-fight veteran who's been all over the world, the Tanzanian. Very tough man, very tricky, as he said. I believe he did the right thing, getting the rounds in. Yes, he is a bit reckless at times, Agis, but he's very exciting. We were here for that draw a couple of months back, where they both swung from the fences all night.
That's what I'm saying. Do you not think a little bit of composure, touch, you might find the home for that shot a little bit quicker?
It will come. That was a sick fight. He is a guy that likes to let his emotions go. He'll get better, he'll get more finessed. I like his exciting style. I like the little trips. I like the little swaying, the sashaying. I love it. I think he's a great kid.
I'll tell you what, I like what he said in the interview. He wants Kurt Wiggins. He wants to run it back. We saw that 4-round war. He had him over a couple of times in the first round, didn't get the job done. It ended in a draw. He told Kurt Wiggins, I'm going to beat you next time. I'm going to nail you to the canvas.
I got a question for Sam. What would you rather be remembered for? Performance of great finesse, and I know how you fight and what you are like as a man. Would you be prefer to be remembered for the wars the fans go home talking about?
No, of course, but I'd also like to say he's a little bit more selective and he gets a show real knockout. You're also remembered for that, and at the end of the day, it don't matter if you're in hard fights your whole career, as long as it says that you've got a W next to your name at the end of the day, that's what's more important.
I love it.
Well, we're going to keep things moving. Fight number 2 coming up. Let's head over to our MC, Mark Burdis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Bognor Regis, Luke Daniel.
It's such an interesting fight, this, because we've got 2 fighters making their professional debuts, and you have to do a bit of digging to find too much information on Luke Daniel. It's his pro debut, so he's yet to perform under a British Boxing Board of Control licence. He does that for the first time tonight, but he has boxed quite a lot unlicensed. I've seen him in the Queensbury League, which run by Alan Foley these days. Ross Minter used to be very much involved in that, and it's a good setup. A lot of good fighters have come through it, and he's had a few in there, and he can handle himself all right. He's looking to make some money in the away corner, but I think he's got some ambition too.
Into the ring from London, Adebisi!
And you can tell from the reception there that Dylan Adebisi has sold a few tickets from across the river in Southwark. Was into football as a kid, as so many kids are, but as he describes it, he was never afraid of a fight, quite the opposite. Eventually got down to the gym and got involved in combat sports at 15. Started at Fight for Peace. Switched from MMA to boxing. Had a good, fairly brief but good amateur career. Got Sab Leo in his corner of Hoddesdon fame. I'm looking forward to this because I'm not absolutely sure what we're going to get. I hear good things about Adebisi. Then you're a bit of a man of mystery. But as I say, I think he has come here to try and do some business.
Ladies and gentlemen, WBM and Let's Go Management, in association with sponsors Gladius, present our next bout this evening. It's a 4 3-minute rounds contest in the super welterweight division. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner, making his professional debut this evening, weighing in 11 stone, 5 pounds, and tonight he wears the white and blue shorts. Please welcome from Bognor Regis, Daniel! And moving across into the blue ring, weighing in 11 stone, 1 pound, and tonight he wears the black and gold shorts. Also making his professional debut this evening, please welcome from London, Adebisi! Your referee in charge is Mr. Mark Bater-Pauly. We're now giving final instructions to both boxers.
Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Good luck to you both, gents.
So this one's scheduled for
Ladies
4
and gentlemen,
rounds.
4 3-minute rounds.
A pro debut for both of these two. Daniel was training, I think, for a fight in Portsmouth. The card fell through and was glad to get this opportunity. He's in the white, Adebisi in the black and gold.
It's not often you get two guys making their pro debut fighting one another.
No, it's a rarity, it really is.
Yeah. Good jab to the body.
Absolutely. Adebisi full of purpose early on, isn't he?
Very.
Through that lead foot wide, looking for the right hand as Daniel just moved off to his left-hand side. But looking at Daniel, you can see that he spent plenty of time in the boxing ring. He knows exactly what he's about in there as he just dips those knees and slides underneath the right hand from Adebisi. Looking for the long right hand there, Adebisi.
He's been trying to set that up from the get-go with the jabs to the body.
Plants those feet nice and wide. Gets really low. Looks to explode up and out.
Come out very strong and confident here.
That was a solid right hand as he just caught Daniel moving away to his right hand side and just starting to put the punches together a little bit more here, Adebisi, midway through round one. Nice feint with the front foot. Daniel, when he gets backed up to the ropes, does a reasonable job, but what he'll tend to do is slip and move off to his left hand side just as he did there, which might be something that Adebisi will start to read. He doesn't want to be too predictable with that. Did it again there. Just sliding in with that front foot, Adebisi. There's that jab to the body that you picked up. It's a good shot, isn't it, the jab to the body, because it knocks your opponent onto their heels. It keeps them in front of you where you want them.
Very underrated. I think it sets up a lot. It pays dividends in the long run.
There's that little feint again. Then you didn't really bite on it.
Yeah.
Tries to fire back with the left hand there, Daniel. Just before that, a right hand from Adebisi almost found the target around the back of the guard. Good first round from Adebisi. As we said, he looks full of potential, full of purpose. Looks to be a threat.
It's a brilliant first round for your pro debut. I just hope he's able to up it and like build off this now, or has he done too much?
Well, he certainly looked very confident, didn't he?
Very confident, very comfortable. Again, this is pro debut. He's probably excited. We've been waiting for this a very long time. So I feel like the first round, you always getting it out your system, get out, you know, oh, I'm here, finally here. Second round, you're a little bit more composed. So for me, round 2 is normally more important. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes out now, because he's picked up on his opponent's habits, what's working, what's not working. His corner's giving him feedback.
Round 2.
He's got around some good gyms as well, Adebisi. Done some work with John Ryder at the Matchroom gym up in Manchester with Pat Barrett at Collyhurst and Moston. He said that was very much his kind of a place, an old school environment, an atmosphere. Then you're doing well there not to get caught in the corner, dip low and almost grab the back of the knee there of Adebisi, who again just backs him up, dips those knees, sends that right hand into the body.
So good.
He's got some real reach on him, Adebisi, just shortening things up there though and looking to try and get that right hand through. Then you're tucking up. Good body shot from Adebisi. You could hear that one land with real force, and again there. The idea being that those body shots will just bring those hands down and give him a route through up top, left into the body, right above us, and then he just goes down to a knee. Staring straight at the referee, just gives a little nod of his head. Gets up on the count of 8. There's still a minute 45 remaining in round 2, and we could hear the slap of those body shots earlier in the round. That one went straight into the pit of the stomach, really, with the left hand. Then you're trying to tuck up, and the problem he's got is the variety from Adebisi. There we go again with the left hand, and this is a real problem for him now, because there's a long way to go in this round. Again, he nods his head, waits till the referee gets to the count of 8, and then rises just a little bit too late on 9. The referee waves that one over, and I think that's a good bit of tacit communication between fighter and referee there. He nodded his head, but I don't think he really wanted to continue. No. The referee looked in his eyes and he knew it, and when he got up just a little bit too late, he waved it over. That's impressive though, isn't it?
Because that's a brilliant performance for a debut. I think, yeah, that was absolutely great. He showed you a little bit of everything. He's come forward, he showed you head movement, you know, great defense. He could work the head and body. He learned everything he needed to in the first round, and I think his corner picked up, stopped going for the head, start ripping to the body, and he started placing his shots and managed to get his man out there.
Just dipping to his left, just putting that one in round the back of the elbow. That stabbing motion, perfectly placed, and after going down a couple of times to body shots, then yeah, understandably.
Fantastic debut.
Felt that he had had enough there, but that was a really impressive debut. Be very interesting to see him again, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute 41 seconds of the second round, the contest has been stopped. The winner by KO in the blue corner from London, Dylan Adebisi. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the gallant Luke Dana.
Quite a long time for this, and he's got some good natural boxer's attributes, hasn't he? Got really long arms, which is what makes somebody suited to this.
I've seen a fair bit of him actually on social media, not too much, just clips here and there of him boxing some of the amateurs, etc. And he looked great, and honestly that was a fantastic display. A great debut.
Okay, let's see what he's got to say. He's down ringside with Umar.
Wow, what a journey this is going to be, Dylan. The noise in here was incredible for your pro debut, and you delivered with that performance.
Appreciate it, man. We don't stop. Let's go. Check out look. Come, uncle, come. Come. Tell him, man, we don't stop.
Hey, yo,
Tell him.
Stop.
We don't
it's
stop.
a long journey, man.
We never stop. you're not going to stop us. The only person that's going to stop us, you have to train. We come far away. The guy I believe on what we're saying, and I believe he's going to be a world champion. We started, what year is it? 7, 8 years ago. I always tell him since I start training boxing from scratch. That's the code. If you believe, and we come in for everything. We're not stop. That's the slogan. You know.
Dylan, those body shots were sickening. How would you describe it?
I didn't even show how good I am. I feel like, yeah, I'm happy with the performance, but you know, I can't wait to get back out there again, show everyone how good I am. But you know, it's just so good to get my debut out the way. Yeah, I want to dedicate this fight to 2 people. First off, Sam Bazzino, rest in peace, Sam Bazzino, one of my coaches who passed away. I want to dedicate it to him. I also want to dedicate this fight to a boxer coming up in amateurs, Ebenezer Sapong. He just got into a coma. He's just from boxing. I want all my prayers go out to him. Hope he pulls through. It just shows, you know, when we step in his ring, whether it's fight or sparring, we're risking our lives. So yeah, I just want to dedicate this one to Ebenezer Sapong, cold fighter from my neck of the woods. I'm hoping he pulls through this coma, man. Big him up.
Well said, Dylan. I'm sure he'll be proud tonight. Thank you.
2 rounds is all it took for Dylan Adebisi. What a professional debut. Delighted to be joined with his beaming and probably very hot manager Lee Eaton. How are you, mate?
Nah, it's cold outside. I've got to wear this coat, you know what I mean?
I just wondered if you've been promoting in the Arctic and just come back here.
Yeah, I've just come back from the Arctic, so we're ready to go.
Tell you what did you think of your man there? I know you've been banging the drum for Dylan. Great start.
Yeah, no, this is a really exciting performance. He had a good ring walk with a rapper and all that. He's living up to his, he's living his life. So, no, listen, I was really impressed with it. Obviously, big Luke Denyer coming at a few days' notice, so thank you very much to Luke Denyer and his manager, Chris Hitchens. But yeah, no, I was really impressed with that. He's got a big future. I think he had 25 amateur fights and won 24. And the only loss was we don't think he did lose that, but he's got a big future. We're going to keep him busy. Couple of Box Nation shows and then try and see if we can get him a promotional deal.
Gareth, you were impressed?
I was. I think Adebisi, I think Dylan's got the swag. I think he's a beautiful looking athlete, and I think that left hook to the body was fantastic. He set all his shots up. It was a debut and he looked like a guy who'd had 12 pro fights. It speaks volumes that he was a national and a London champion. Yeah. You got a great kid there. Yeah. I really like the look of him all round. I just can't wait to see how he blossoms. And Sam Gillies was looking at him going, no, you've got 2 or 3 years to wait yet, son.
I think he's had about 17 more fights then.
Exactly. Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about the opponent there. Luke Denyer, for me, I looked him up earlier. I couldn't find him on BoxRec. That doesn't happen.
That was his debut as well. That was his debut as well. So he's come from the Quest Boxing. He's had a few amateur fights and stuff like that, but it was his debut. He wanted the opportunity. He jumped in at late notice. So fair play to him. Obviously, Dylan was levels above tonight, and it shows.
There's always a story when it comes to those fighters who aren't on BoxRec. Something's happened, right?
He was on BoxRec, but he was like the invisible man. I know for a fact, because I did my research with his team, he had 13 amateur bouts, a lot of white-collar fights, and he might even had a few fights in the streets, like all of our guys.
Just like you.
No, not for me, baby. You know I'm a lover, not a fighter. You know that, Lee.
Have you seen this man kick?
Yeah, mate. He tried kicking me in the head a few times.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but you've got so skinny these days, I can't even see you.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm still fat.
Got to say, Lee, where is the rest of you? You're doing very well.
No, listen, there's still plenty of fat there. Don't worry.
Tell me about these Box Nation shows. I know you've got one coming up as well, December the 6th. Yeah. Plenty going on Box Nation, Lee.
Yeah, no, listen, it's a great platform. Obviously, Box Nation back in the day, I remember being here for it was Liam Walsh versus Appleby. Oh. It was probably one of the best fights I've ever seen.
The first ever Box Nation show. And that was first ever
Box Nation show.
Yeah.
And listen, Queensbury are bringing the Box Nation back, so it's good. There's a good show on December 6th. He's got an IBO world title fight. Diane Gonzalez, who's a Cuban, unbelievable, same team as Javier Herrera, and we know what he's like. This kid's just as good. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, Jack Turner's on there, Nelson Birchall, Stephen Cairns. So yeah, there's some right good kids on there. It's going to be a really good show. I think there's about 2,500 tickets already sold, so at the Liverpool Exhibition Centre. Tune in to Box Nation.
What I love, Dev and Lee, is the fact that what we're seeing tonight, I've never seen a ramp before in the York Hall. It looks fantastic to the side of us.
Yeah,
the crowd's already been. I've never seen the rounds up on digital scoreboards either. And things are different, and I love it. I love the development and the evolution that you're creating.
They're doing a great job. Warren Boxing Management have taken really the lead on tonight's show. Great job. You can see the evolution just from 2 weeks ago. We were here. It's great to see these big nights coming back to York Hall. This is the breeding ground for the future.
Listen, every single promoter's done unlimited amount of shows at York Hall. I've done the Golden Contract here. We've done loads of different shows here. Sam Gilly had a fight of the year here before for the English title. There's always great fights, and York Hall is one of the best venues in the country. Shame about the changing rooms, but other than that, it is one of the best, I think, best venues in the country.
No, you're not the first to say that. It's the changing rooms are a little bit.
It's a warren. Can I say it's a warren? It's like a rabbit warren.
I don't know what a rabbit warren is.
Well, you go in and out and up and down steps, and there's one toilet here, and then you go upstairs to a dressing room. Because I remember the days of people like David Hay fighting it, Audley Harrison. I remember Brawl one night when Herbie Hyde kicked off. It was unbelievable in here. But when 10 of you go and interview someone in a dressing room here, there's not even standing room. That's how small it is.
It is certainly that. Listen, Lee, since I've got you here as well, tell me a little bit about Nelson Hysa.
Nelson Hysa, listen, a very, very good fighter. He's I think he's 20-0. I don't know how many, a lot of knockouts.
13 out of 18.
13 out of...
Might be 16, you know.
Is it 16 out of 20, maybe?
Yeah, 16. Come on, Gav.
Well, it's one or the other.
Anyway, yes, obviously, the Albanians always bring a good support. Later on, next hour or so, you're going to be this place is going to be absolutely pumping. But Nelson's a good fighter. He's a WBO European champion. Obviously, we had a few late changes of opponents, so he's had to take a fight against Bracamonte. But listen, he'll be out very soon in the new year as well.
Well, let's keep things moving. Fight number 3 coming up. Brilliant night here at York Hall. Let's head over to RMC Mark Burdiss.
Please welcome into the ring from Gomel, Belarus, Dmitry Atrakov.
So there's another 6-rounder at super welterweight. Dmitry Atrakov from Belarus. Boxes an international, actually, as an amateur at the famous Stranja tournament, amongst other appearances. He is an away corner man. Only been stopped once in 23 defeats. He does have a number of wins as well, but the real test for Heni tonight is whether he can force that stoppage, whether he can really make a dent in him.
And please welcome from Hungary by way of Ukraine, Esteban.
We saw Isfan Husseini here in June making his professional debut. He was up against Kane Morgan, won the fight which was scheduled for 4 rounds to 2. He hadn't boxed competitively for a couple of years. He was a really good amateur. I saw him quite a lot representing Hungary at the European Under-22s, the European Seniors, where he ran into a couple of really good fighters. And he looked like he had plenty of skill, plenty of swag. He ran out of gas a bit towards the end, which was understandable, because, as I say, he'd been out of the ring for quite some time, but he's a man who believes in himself, and he has reason to.
Ladies and gentlemen, WBM with Let's Go Management, in association with our proud sponsors, Gladius, present our next bout this evening. It's a 6 3-minute rounds international contest in the super welterweight division. Firstly, in the red corner, weighing in 11 stone, 10 pounds, and tonight he wears the black and silver shorts with a record of 16 wins, 7 by way of KO, and 23 losses to his name. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Gomel, Belarus, Dmitry Atrakov. And across the ring in the blue corner, with 2 wins from 2 weighing in 11 stone, 11 pounds. And tonight he wears the black shorts. Please welcome from Hungary, by way of Ukraine, residing in Great Britain, please welcome Esteban. Your referee is Sean McAvoy, now giving his final instructions.
Okay, lads, 6-round contest. Keep it clean at all times, keep yourself protected at all times. Touch gloves, here we go. Good luck.
Heni has had one fight since that pro debut. That was back on October the 18th. A win against Ryan Makok. That was over 4 rounds. He won that one 3-1. That was a good outing for him, a good opponent for him. We see Ryan Makok again tonight. Somebody who could certainly handle himself. So away we go.
And just in case anyone missed, Ishvan, he rolls into, it's a signature thing he does. He rolls his way into the ring all the time, even at the gym when he's sparring. He's a true showman, I reckon.
So it's only in a solid black. Atrikov in the black and white. And he's someone you see all the time, isn't he? Because he trains at your gym.
Absolutely. And honestly, he's always really nice to watch him spar. He's a real showman. He showboats. He plays around in there. He has fun. It's risky, but it's natural to him.
It was interesting watching that debut because I'd seen him before, so I knew that he had real ability, and you could see that he knew that it was a real opportunity for him, and that whatever happened, you've got to get the win, of course, but he needed to make an impression. He needed to give people a reason to want to see him again.
Yeah.
And it was hard work for him by the end, because being scheduled for 6 on your debut is not normal. He hadn't boxed for a really long time, and he was feeling it by the end, but it worked because people went away from the venue, I think, and we were talking about him. And next up, he got a fight on a Queensberry card on TNT, and you do need to understand what you need to deliver in professional boxing, don't you? It's show business.
Absolutely.
Turning around the front foot, stood square there, and then just led off with the right hand.
Yeah.
Atrikov keeps that guard pretty high for the most part. Doesn't look to really give anything away, but he's not purely defensive. He's trying to creep in and let those hands go when he gets into range. Husseini just a little bit short with that jab. It's a nice jab though. Snaps it out quick, comes back quick. Again with the right hand lead.
Again, it's lovely to watch, but I always like to take the first round to keep to the basics. You know, ease your way in, see what your opponent's doing, how he reacts to stuff before showing all your cards.
I think I did say during that fight back in June that he might not be the easiest fighter to train.
No.
Because he's going to do it how he does it.
Absolutely. And sometimes for a fighter, it's very important that he's comfortable in what he's doing. You know, some conventional fighting is not suited to someone like him. It's abnormal to him. He doesn't flow as normal. Where this is like second nature. I think he's in great hands with John Durant. Fantastic coach. They gel really well together. They kind of understand one another. It'll be interesting to see how the second and third round go for Ishvan. Again, like I say, I'm used to watching him kind of ease into it, and I feel like he's kind of showed a little bit more than he should have.
Well, you just saw the banner for the Magnificent Seven there. That's the Queensberry show coming your way on TNT on December the 7th, headlined by Brand Paul's defending his British middleweight title against Denzel Bentley, a former British champion, of course, world title challenger. Denzel was our guest a couple of weeks ago. We were sat at ringside watching our man here win at the top of the bill, and that's a really good headline fight. Plenty of other good fights on that card as well. Sam Noakes against Ryan Walsh is one that really leaps off the page at me. Solomon Dakers against David Adelaide. And Husseini again just dips to his left there, looks to try and throw the left to the body. And then that right hand. Atrakov is one of these guys who isn't really going to give too much away, stoops over slightly, but keeps that chin nice and tucked in.
Yeah.
He's just trying to draw something from Atrakov there.
Yeah.
Hussein. It's not the easiest thing to do, is it?
It's not. And he knows it, you know.
Atrakov just gets a hold of him on the inside there and just trying to club with the left hand as he pulls down on the back of the head with the right hand. The referee couldn't quite see it. An interesting thing about Husseini for me as well, and I think this is part of the reason why he tied towards the end of that debut. I'm not reading too much into that. It was what it was. But the way he fights is quite a tiring way to fight, isn't it? It's the fast twitch fight. But look at that, for example. He's just done a really deep squat in the middle of the ring. 5 minutes into an 18-minute fight. He asks a lot of himself boxing like this.
Yeah, it's my point exactly. So, you know, you're doing 6 rounds. I would ease into it. And the second half of the 6 rounds, I'd switch this on. And that's when you really start going. But he started early. You know, I'm sure he's fit and he can sustain this. But like you say, Andy, it's a lot to do and to maintain.
He's just falling short with that jab. I think the southpaw stance of his opponent has got something to do with that. It's got that little bit further to go. But if he can find the range with the jab, that could be the key here, because he does slip it out nice and quick. It comes up from the waist, explodes up into the eye line, which makes it a bit more difficult to pick up. He's kept his opponent busy with that jab, but he hasn't really landed it.
Yeah, you know, he's filled the gap in between and hasn't let him set off. Oh.
Right at the end of the round there, Atrakov just looking to try and step to Husseini a little bit.
Good little flurry there.
There's that right-hand lead that he's thrown a couple of times. Most coaches will tell you that it's a dangerous kind of shot to throw. I remember one fighter telling me once, or describing it to me once, as getting hit by a right-hand lead is like getting nutmegged in football. It's just not something you ever want to happen.
Yeah.
Seconds out. Round 3.
So into the third. Just creeping in with that front foot and then looking to throw the right hand into the body. So far in this round from Husseini, there's a more solid, compact, orthodox kind of style about him.
Exactly. He's not dancing around. He's not, you know, twitching so much. He's in front of his man, hitting him with a jab. Set, ready to explode with a counter, which I think would be a bit more.
There's some marking up around the right eye there of Atrakov.
Yeah.
Just a slight graze, which is maybe from that jab. And I like that at the start of the round. He was throwing those punches within the framework of his own body, wasn't he? And again, that's good. That's nice and busy. Atov gets off with that lead right hook. There wasn't too much on it, but Husseini just working that jab. Still not quite there distance-wise. That one's reaching the gloves this time. He's getting closer, isn't he?
He is. It'd be nice to see him double jab, cover the ground and get in, and then start off his combination where he's trying to get a reaction and do it from long range.
Atrakov with a flurry there, and that's what we're getting from him, really. He's trying to keep things tight, and then every now and again, when he feels he needs to, because he can't just let Husseini settle and do what he wants, he'll throw something back.
It's a brilliant jab, though. Keeps him off, sets up other shots. Kind of keeps him in control.
It's interesting because with someone like him, it's early in his pro career, and I'm aware it's easy to be quite critical because there is real ability there and you can see it. And I saw it in the amateurs, but if you had your way, he'd be doing this from the beginning rather than do what he did for the first 2 rounds and now do this.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's difficult because a fighter, you know, does naturally what they feel is right at the time.
Nice short right hand there to finish the round. It was a good round. Good round for him.
That was a good attempt of an angle change in a shoot.
It always interests me how fighters who've come to the UK from overseas end up where they end up in terms of the gym that they end up calling home. I know you've got quite a few from different parts of the world. I mean, how did he, if you know that backstory, how did he end up at your place?
Ultimately, I think because we've got Freddie Warren there, and Freddie manages Ishrat, so I think he's come down to spar a couple of times, and he kind of liked the vibe there, the fact that he was there with other young prospects who were also trying to achieve the same thing. And you know, when you're in a gym where you've got all these young fighters all really kind of hungry and on the same mission, it kind of gives you a bit of a kick.
The dynamics of gyms are always interesting because it's an individual sport. It's a very lonely individual sport at times, but the team element you can get is the gym, and if you find somewhere with the right energy for you.
Absolutely, I think it's very, very important. Some gyms can I think strip a fighter off his abilities almost, because you know, it's somewhere you're going every day. It's like being in a workplace where no one appreciates you or you know, doesn't value you. You want to be in a gym where people are helping you to kind of be the best version of yourself. But also, like, boxing's hard, the training's hard, the diet's hard, so you kind of need that support element around you. Where in our gym, I think there's a lot of joking around, clowning around, but also like everybody works hard. So there's a good balance, healthy balance, I say.
And this is good from Husseini, opening minute of round 4 again. Well, he's posturing now, but before that, he's just working that jab, looking to try and follow up with the right hand. Atrakov just couldn't really do anything with it at all. And if he can just continue to build on that, there's that 1-2. He's not looking to be too expansive. Right hand into the body. He's just showing those good fundamentals. And then just turns around that front foot.
He's having fun in this, that's one thing.
Again, throws that right hand lead and just slides off to his left hand side. That's a good straight left hand there though from Atrakov.
Yeah, I think that's the best shot he landed.
Little feints with the front foot there from Heni, leaning in almost to try and tempt his man in. Atrikov does step in, but then again there's that right hand standing a little bit more square now. It's interesting the way he's gone about this, because he was quite flamboyant in the opening couple of rounds. Rounds 3 and 4, he's kind of buckled down to the basics. That's a good right hand into the body. Rounds 5 and 6, it would be good to see him stick to this similar kind of approach, but just up it.
Absolutely. I think if he's got another gear in him and he does what he's doing, he'll have a bit more success. I think his corner maybe told him, listen, it's good you're having fun, but, you know, maybe too early for it, or get back to the fundamentals. They win fights and they work.
There's that right hand, just short that time. I think Adam Azim arriving on the far side of the ring. I'm just spying, saw him in action a few weeks ago. In that away corner there, we've got Johnny Greaves. Legendary away corner fighter from the Peacock from a few years ago now. Used to be a regular fixture on boxing cards up and down the country.
Yes.
Seconds out. Round 5.
So 2 to go here. Isfahan Husseini in the black. In the black and white, we have got Dmitry Atrikov. Husseini in his 2 pro outings so far has gone 6 and 4, so yet to get a stoppage. I don't think you ever need to read too much into that. People like to, but it depends who you're in with, really. If you're in with good, durable fighters, then they will be difficult to come by. Just using the ropes there, Husseini, maybe just trying to give Atrikov a slightly different look and tempt him in.
Yeah, I was just trying to bait him in. I mean, he has success sometimes with a straight backhand cold. It's just, it'd be nice to see him do something other than throw just one shot off it. There, look, it landed. He could have threw a left hook, right hand straight after it.
Using that jab again, just keeping it a distance. I give Atrikov credit, he doesn't just come to cover up.
No, he throws shots back, he does, he makes it tough, and to be honest, not a lot of these shots are landing clean. Look, this is a good exchange.
Husseini does have that elusive quality about him as well. And good for him after that long layoff following his final amateur bout to get 3 fights in the pretty much the second half of the year, just to gain some momentum, to get that timing and that rhythm back. Atrikov just setting his feet, looking to try and swing in that left hand. Closing stages of round 5. 1 to go after this. York will slowly filling up. We've got the Albanian presence at the top of the card. Nelson Hysa up against Ariel Bracamonte. 10 rounds that's scheduled for it. Heavyweight. And that could be a really interesting fight, because Bracamonte, if he's up for it, and he generally is, can be a real handful. Hysa is undefeated, but he hasn't really boxed anyone, to be honest, off the back of a 20-year-long international amateur career, which saw him taking 4 world championships amongst plenty of other tournaments. So that, the way I look at it, is a very interesting fight. It is. I remember seeing him in 2021 at the World Championships in Belgrade, and what he was always cursed by, Big Nelson, was terrible draws in major championships. He run into some really, really good fighters, basically in his first fight.
Yeah.
Which is never what you want, but he's decided to give it a go as a pro. He's 18-0, and this is a big platform for him because, as we said earlier on, the Albanian expat community in London has got a history of coming out for their fighters, and I don't think it's going to be any different tonight. 6th and final round between these two. Hosseini has won every round so far. Atrakov has worked well in flurries, has never looked in any real trouble.
No, Ishman sat in the corner for that entire duration until the referee told him to get up. I don't know if that was just him, you know, getting comfortable, or if he's a bit tired.
One thing I think is quite noticeable about him is that in some ways there's still that remnant of the amateur style there with him. He's quite unorthodox in some ways and throws quite a lot of shots that an amateur coach wouldn't necessarily recommend. But what he does need to do is he needs to commit with his feet a bit more and just get a bit closer.
Absolutely. It's almost like he wants the entire fight to be at long range when he can be at mid and close range, and there's opportunities there also.
And in the amateurs, if you can keep it on the outside and hit the target, then you can win the fight, can't you? But what you lot all do, you want to hurt the target.
Absolutely. So in amateur boxing, the whole kind of objective is to keep it long, you know, straight shots, punches in bundles, and move off. So you see in so many amateur contests, the minute they get in close, like mid-range or close range, they'll break you up.
So into the second half of the round, he's completely controlled this fight from beginning to end, and as I said at the start, he's early in his pro career. You don't want to be too critical, but you know that there is potentially a lot more to come from him, and I'll be interested to see how they match him next, because I think probably a good thing for him would be, I didn't see the fight against Makok, 3-1, so Makok got a round on the card there. If they could find someone who's going to come and really have a tussle with him, who comes more in expectation of winning rather than hope, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Someone who's really going to believe that they can beat him.
Absolutely.
I think that's probably what he needs. That's a nice right-hand lead. You could see that landed on Atrakov.
Atrakov actually put the pressure on a little bit here, and he's finishing the fight off strong.
Nice 1-2 there from Hosseini as Atrakov was coming forward and then just turned around that front foot. But that's, in a way, a little example of what I was talking about. If he just slows those feet down, plants them, stays on the punch just a split second longer, then you can get that little bit more power. But that can take a bit of time, can't it? Just to hardwire that habit into yourself.
Yeah, because I think, again, like you say, when you've been in amateur boxing for so long, the idea is to throw your shots and get off. So sometimes what you're doing is, as your hands are still moving, you've stepped, so you've kind of taken away the power from it, so you're not sat on the shot as much. Where you're absolutely right, if he sets his feet, throws his shots, then gets off, because defensively he's great. But you're right, early on in his career, he's only 3 fights in, he's got plenty of time to learn. I think that was a fantastic fight for him, actually. He's had 3 fights this year, 3 totally different types of opponents, 2 6-rounders, good way to end the year.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest 59 points to 55. The winner in the blue corner, Esteban Heni.
So Sean McAvoy making that 5 rounds to 1 in favour of Heni. The 1 round that Atov got there. Maybe the final round to go.
I would have said the final round is the only round I could give him.
But it's a comfortable win, and as Newman's been saying, that's 16 rounds under his belt from June onwards, and there'd have been a long layoff before that, so I think that's exactly what he needed, to be honest. He'll have been in the gym pretty much all of the time. No matter how long you've been doing this, after that kind of layoff from competitive boxing, the timing can take a while to come back. Those rhythms that you've established just become a little bit dormant. The sharpness isn't quite there, so I'll be interested to see what they do with him next year and how quickly they feel that they can move him. But from the look of him and from the level he was at an amateur, you don't want him to stagnate now. He needs to be challenged, doesn't he, I think?
Absolutely. I think a little step up would be great. Someone there, you know, who's there to win, who's punching back. So you're learning, but also on paper you should actually win.
And that's where the matchmakers come in. Okay, just posing for a few photos, are now being ushered over to ringside, where he will be talking to Umar.
Ishvan, how would you assess that tonight? Happy with that?
Yeah, I'm very excited to this fight. It was well done for this year. I'm happy. I did 3-0 in this year. Looking forward.
To be fair, when you got close to him, he was firing back your opponent tonight.
Yeah. Because this night is 75, my weight is 69, so he feels physical stronger. But you saw, it's not just strong boxing, it's mentally.
Talk to me about this role you do when you enter the ring.
Yeah. What should I say?
No, because a lot of people like it on TikTok and stuff.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing. Everyone likes it. Everyone likes shows, so here I am.
You're going to be in the next Ukrainian star, Ishvan?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Дякую всім за підтримку. Yeah, and I want to say, British people, thank you for support. Rival gym, Boxcentric gym, everyone, thank you very much.
Well done, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Chorleywood, Hertfordshire, Ryan Makok!
And this is the aforementioned Ryan Makok, 36 years old now. Turned pro back in 2016. By the end of the following year, he was 5-1, then didn't box again until mid-2022, but has done some good work since. Last June he actually boxed for the Southern Area Super Welterweight title, got stopped in the 8th round by Jack Martin, and then was out until October this year with that fight against Ishvan Heni.
And please welcome into the ring from Dulwich, London, Emmanuel Easy Zion!
Emmanuel Zion, 6 wins and 1 defeat, 28 years old. That 1 defeat in Dubai last December by split decision, has rebounded with wins in the Czech Republic and Denmark, and then a few weeks ago winning all 6 rounds against Cameroonian London 2012 Olympian Serjan Bomo, who's been a good fighter down the years. He's done some sparring against the likes of O'Hara Davis and Adebisi, as I mentioned. He's over in the front row on the far side.
Ladies and gentlemen, WBM and Let's Go Management, in association with our sponsors, Gladius, are proud to present our next bout this evening. It's a 6 3-minute rounds contest in the middleweight division. In the red corner, with 7 wins, 1 by way of knockout and 4 losses to his name. Tonight wearing the black shorts, weighing in 11 stone at 8 pounds. Please welcome, from Chorleywood, Hertfordshire, Ryan Makok. And across the ring in the blue corner, with 6 wins, 3 by way of knockout and 1 loss to his name, weighing in 11 stone, 6 pounds. And tonight he wears the black shorts with purple and silver trim. Please welcome, from Dulwich, London, Emmanuel Zion. Your referee, Mark Bates, now giving his final instructions. Ladies and gentlemen, 6 3-minute rounds.
And I think this has got all the ingredients of a good fight. Makok, as we mentioned, has done pretty well since he came back to boxing. He won a prize fighter style tournament on the Johnny Clark show with wins against Kevin Ravel and Angelo Antonio. He's boxed up at a good level. He's in the solid black, boxing out of the southpaw stance. Zion in the black and purple. Came to boxing after a footballing injury when he was a teenager. Badly broken ankle, laid him up for a while, and he started watching boxing on YouTube. Was kind of bewitched, as he describes it, by the footwork. He hadn't realised that was such a key part of it. Had decent feet due to the football, and as soon as he got out of the cast and out of the boot that he had to have put on, he was straight down to Earlsfield. Found the training hard early on, but now really embraces it, which you have to do. Looking for the overhand right there, Makok, and an aggressive start from him, and he is in good shape, Newman. When you look at Makok there, you look at the width of his back when he plants those legs.
He looks very solid and strong. Emmanuel Zion looks a little bit too relaxed for me.
He's got Xavier Miller in his corner these days. Those two have been together since about March, and this is what Makok is looking to do. Just spread those feet wide and really put some heat on wide left and right hands. Straight punches, you would say, would be the key here for Zion. They've just got less of a distance to travel.
Yeah, he's not giving Makok anything back to think about. I think Makok is very difficult to prepare for. He's southpaw, but he doesn't box like your conventional southpaw. He throws winging shots from wide stance like that and pivots out. So very, very unorthodox. And I think Zion's finding that a little bit tricky to deal with at the minute.
And that's some good stuff from Makok. He threw a more kind of regulation 1-2, if you like.
Yeah.
So he's mixing it up nicely, and he's been busy from the start here.
Very. Good little uppercut there.
That's kind of the perfect example. He planted those feet and waded in with those rights and lefts to the body, then a short uppercut, which I wouldn't have thought Zion was necessarily expecting. Zion needs to start throwing and just hitting something.
Exactly my point. I feel like he's waiting for the perfect shot. It doesn't exist. He's walking him down with high guard. Look, trying to land that one big shot or combination, you've got to set it up, feint, you know, move your feet a certain direction, or double jab or jab forward.
Final few seconds of round one. It's been a good round for Ryan Makok. Started quick, has kept that tempo pretty high. There goes the bell. They're scheduled 4-6.
I'm assuming Emmanuel Zion took that round just to see what his opponent's like in terms of, you know, they probably was aware that he's very unorthodox, but he just wanted to see where the shots are coming from, what his power's like, etc. I'm sure he'll make an adjustment after this first round of observing, because that to me is what he looks like he's been doing. Hands up high, keeping a high guard and just keep it safe. He's not really been trying to land anything major. I think I'll give that round to Makok easily.
Yeah, it's comfortably a Makok round, that, wasn't it? And it's interesting, as you say that, and you could well be right, Zion just having a look. He was never in any real trouble, and sometimes you do need to do that. But what you kind of give away by doing that, maybe, is that you lose a round, but also you put some wind in the sails of your opponent.
Absolutely. So that's why I'd always say, even when you're trying to figure out your opponent, or you're just trying to gauge what's happening, where the shots are coming from, you still got to be working your jab and still initially winning the round. Zion's gone out southpaw now.
Just creeping in with that front foot there, Emmanuel Zion, trying to keep that guard tight. That's a decent jab there from Makok. Got low and good extension on it as well. Zion trying to work on the inside. Makok just with a little old trick there, just almost had a glove on each side of his head, didn't he? And then just let go and look for the uppercut. That's better from Zion. The left hand moved Makok. He's just trying to get a hold of him up close a little bit here. The referee might have to have a little word about that before too long. There's a lead uppercut followed by the left hand there from Makok.
Yeah, I like that. That was a good little...
Again, just planting his feet and letting those hands go there, Makok. And Zion still just waiting a bit too long. Every now and again he manoeuvres his man into a decent position and then just doesn't let his hands go.
Yeah, he just needs to react quicker. I mean, he's defending some of these shots really well, but there's, you know, you don't get any points for defending shots.
So heading towards the final minute of round two. I think that left hand kind of got deflected even lower than it was already going to be. I think it was low, but by the time it hit a glove, it pretty much hit Zion on around the knee. Zion there just trying to get Makok back in the corner. Makok, as we mentioned, is physically strong, just pushing his way out of that red corner.
Makok's doing a fantastic job of just throwing his shots and then just smothering so he can't counter. Doesn't. Oh, that was
good right hand there from Zion, and that just caused Makok to take a step back, and that's what he needs here, Emmanuel Zion, because he's been trying to get on top of Makok more in this second round, but he made an impact there, certainly. And this is scheduled for 6, and Makok's thrown a lot, hasn't he?
He's thrown
in that opening 2 rounds.
Very busy 2 rounds.
And it's a kind of a muscular way that he fights too, and I mentioned the width of his back, and you need it when you fight the way that he does. So I just wonder whether he might begin to feel this as we head into the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. I don't think Zion has taken much out of his own tank in those opening 2 rounds, but he's probably lost both of them.
Definitely.
Just describe to us the kind of difference in effort and output between you know, planning your feet and really getting that core rotation into ploughing in with big wide hooks as opposed to just keeping nice and side on and just sliding out a good 1-2.
The thing is, sometimes when you load up on shots, they actually take more energy and they're not as hard, because what you're initially doing is you're accelerating with the brakes on. You know, you're too tense. Where if you're a bit more relaxed and you just kind of, you know, rotate your hips, it's less effort and it's more weight behind the shot. But Makok's always boxed like this, and it works for him. So even when he trains, he's conditioned himself to be able to do this. Hence his build. I mean, he boxed what, 6 weeks ago?
So into the third round. A good distance on that combination. Again, Zion tucked up. It didn't get through. But it's Makok who's doing most of the work here. He's the one who's looking to try and dictate terms more.
Yeah, Makok he's going back, but he keeps turning his man. You see, he turns him, so Zion needs to adjust and turn to get off his shots, and Makok's not there anymore.
Zion again just continuing to walk him down with that tight high guard as we head towards the midway point of round 3. Makok with good use of that lead right hand on the inside there, uppercut and then a little hook, and Zion has not been in any serious discomfort. As you've been saying, he's defended well for the most part, but he's still getting outworked here. Turns southpaw again there, Zion. But Makok just gets a hold of him and walks him back. Manages to nick a little rest on the inside, then disengages and gets through with a couple of uppercuts. Then a right hand over the top. Good right hand into the body, and again he is dominating this round with the punch output.
I feel like Emmanuel Zion just can't get into his groove, you know, he just can't get into his rhythm. He's just always second to the punch. He's not leading, you know, he's just always reacting to what Makok's doing.
And again, Makok there just planting those feet and letting those hands go, and a right hand over the top round the side of the guard did seem to get through, and there's that uppercut. That's worked nicely for him. Just leaning on. Closing stages of round 3, and this is another good round for him. He came out and set the tone from early, and he's never let up. And Emmanuel Zion has got an awful lot to do in the second half of the fight.
I mean, we're 3 rounds in and Makok's up on my cards. Zion's just waiting a bit too long. You know, he doesn't have 12 rounds. He doesn't have 10 rounds. This is the second half of the fight. He's got to really take risks. He's got to do stuff that makes him uncomfortable. Throw shots.
Well, Makok's won those opening 3 rounds. I don't see how you could score that any other way.
No.
And it's the volume, isn't it? Because he has got through with some decent shots, mainly those uppercuts. A lot of the body work has landed.
Yeah.
Plenty has been pretty well defended, but
he's just taking more chances. He's initiating the fight. You know, even when he's going backwards, he's actually throwing shots.
Corners, 10 seconds.
So heading into the second half of the fight, and
round 4.
If he's going to flip this script, Emmanuel Zion, he's got to start doing it now. He's got to be busier. He's got to throw more. It's as simple as that. When he gets close like he is here, he's got to let his hands go.
Absolutely.
And Zion is trying to up the tempo here, but Makok just barrels forward, lets a combination go,
just
falls in, gets right on his shoulder. He did land that right hand in the second round, Zion, towards the end of the round. but that's the most success he's had so far. Almost dipped onto a right hand from Makok there. Makok just using that uppercut again, goes up to the head, down to the body with it. He's staying very composed here, Zion. No signs of any kind of panic or frustration. That's good, but he must be aware that he's got to have a strong second half here.
Yeah, honestly, you're absolutely right. He looks really composed, but there's no sense of urgency. I don't see, you know, he's there shaking his head, but again, on my scorecards, you're 3 rounds down. You got to up the pace, take a bit more chances, initiate the fight. He's close enough to punch, but he's waiting for the perfect opportunity. He's got to create it.
That was a nice combination on the inside there from Makok. There's a cut to Makok up in the hairline, just above his right ear. That's what it looks like. There's no real problem with that. That's running clear of everything. Nice right hand on the inside there from Zion, but Makok again just crawling all over him, leaning in, just finding enough room to let those hands go. Ooh. Good left hand there from Makok, and just looking up at Zion, there's a little bit of swelling on the corner of his right eye and a nick on the corner of that eye too, so blood coming from there also, and the swelling to me looks like it's kind of coming up all the time. I don't know whether that was a punch or a head clash, but Makok again on the inside getting good purchase on those punches. He's found good distance, hasn't he, right from the start, Makok, and if you control the distance you control the fight, really. Absolutely. Don't you? And just shoulders Zion off there, and again looks to go into the body.
This is good work from Zion. He needs to let his hands go. He's there, he's in punching range. Create the space and throw your shots.
But again, this is another round where he's been outworked. He has been outpunched. It's a better round for him, but it's still not good enough, I would say.
I absolutely agree with you, Andy. It's honestly great work from Makok. I think he's outboxed him on the back foot. He's throwing his shots first. He's reacting. Emmanuel Zion is just reacting to everything Makok's doing, you know. So you're going to be second if you're going to always react to what your opponent's doing. You got to set the pace sometimes.
That was a good right hand that he landed there. He's not been completely without his successes. It's just that Makok has had more. I mentioned the distance that he's found. He's just dug those toes in right from the beginning, and he found the body early on with those hooks. And on the inside, it's been some neater kind of cue to work with, shorter hooks, little uppercuts.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 5.
Well, they're going to need to take that cloth off the top of his head before the referee's going to allow boxing to continue here. The Vaseline on the corner of the right eye there. I didn't get a look as to exactly how that was caused, that little nick and the swelling. There was a replay that...
Oh wow, Makok's come out even stronger.
He has. He started quick again at the start of the round. There was a replay that maybe showed it was from a clash of heads. Yeah. It's not going to result in the contest ending inside the distance, so in that sense it's slightly immaterial, but if that's just slipping down over the eye, then that's not a good feeling.
It's almost expected when you have an orthodox fighter and a southpaw for their heads to clash, but Emmanuel Zion's gone southpaw here.
But again, Makok is just working well, isn't he? I did wonder at the end of the second whether he'd be able to keep this up for 6 rounds.
I think he would. Honestly, he's not slowing down. He's giving you the same he's given in each round, and it's worked for him. And you're absolutely right. He's loading up on these shots. So they may be making Emmanuel Zion second guess, you know, whether he should counter, should slightly reluctant to let his hands go.
And just a few seconds ago there, he landed the big heavy 1-2 on the forearms, on the gloves, but then just stepped in, and the third shot, which was the uppercut with the right hand, that got through. again, strong left-handers. Zion's coming forward.
That was a good uppercut from Makok. Spins his man. Keeps turning him.
He does that well. When you watch him, when you watch the way that he throws those punches, Makok, there's a good example. Goes to the body, then leans in, moves onto the shoulder. You need to have that ability as he's coming forward to just back up that little half step back, because he does lean in a bit.
And he smothers your work, so you can't counter him. So look, so he throws his shots, he smothers you, so he's won that exchange, and now he's back on the back foot. This is great stuff from Makok.
It really is. There was another good right uppercut a few seconds ago, and he looks for it again there, just shoulders him off. The referee will have a little bit of a word about that. He's done that a couple of times. It's a habit fighters pick up in the gym, I think, just shouldering the bag off.
Yeah.
He set the agenda from the beginning. He's gone about this business exactly the same way for almost every second of all 5 rounds that we've had so far, and Emmanuel Zion has just never got to grips with it, really.
No, I mean, I don't know if I'm speaking too soon, but I actually follow Emmanuel Zion on social media, and he's put up a post last week saying he was sick or something, and but he kind of said, oh, he's felt this before, he was sick before another fight, and then it ended really well for him. So I don't know if it's that. He does look a bit zapped, but honestly, had I not known that information, I would have assumed it's just Makok, punching him and exerting him. And Makok's been, honestly, even when you're blocking shots, you're still absorbing these shots, especially those body shots.
Sixth and final round. Well, we'll discover in the aftermath, I'm sure, whether there has been a problem for Emmanuel Zion, but you turn up on the night, you answer that first bell, you are reporting for duty.
Absolutely.
Declaring yourself fit to fight.
And I think he needs to absolutely just put everything into this round, because he's 5 rounds down on my scorecards, and if he's got a chance of equalizing this, it's going to be with a knockout.
And Makok is going to continue to come forward. He's not going to try and get up on his toes in this last round, is he? It's just not something that,
I think
he's going to do.
His confidence has grown. I think he knows he's ahead. He doesn't feel in danger. So, and look, he's actually still throwing big, heavy shots and smothering.
And the physicality of him, you need that ability, as we were saying in the previous round, when he's thrown that big 1-2. Left hand there again, and just moves straight onto the shoulder. Like you said, it makes it really hard to counter unless you're able to create that bit of space for yourself. It's easy from here.
It's very easy from here, especially with someone like Makok who's walking back, so you walk forward, and then you kind of, you're going towards it, but he steps forward after he throws his shot.
There's that combination on the inside again there. Right uppercut, left hook. Right uppercut got through.
A minute 30 left of this last round. Just looks up at the clock.
Looking for the straight left hand there, that ricocheted off the forearm, but as you say, you still feel these, they still register. Punches, heavy shots taken on gloves, on forearms. Little bit more of a tired look there about Makok, because he threw that 1-2 and then looked to get in close and tie his man up, and Zion just managed to shrug him off. But the job is done here for Ryan Makok, unless he walks onto one in the final few seconds. And he just paused there actually as the two disengaged. I'm not absolutely sure why, because there was no instruction from the referee, and Zion was there for the hitting, but It was almost like he chose not to.
Yeah. I mean, he's still finishing this round off stronger.
So, final few seconds of this 6th round. Makok ploughs in with another left hand, turns around that front foot and finishes on the front foot, which is exactly where he started the fight. That was a very, very good performance from him. He brought the heat right from the beginning, right up until the very end, and by our reckoning has won every round of that fight. Emmanuel Zayan tried to stick to his guns, tried to cut the ring down and get on top of his man, but it just wasn't happening for him tonight. But that's a really good performance.
Brilliant performance. I think he executed his game plan. I think he did everything he had to do to win. He made it dirty, he made it rough, but he boxed well as well. He boxed well on the back foot. He got his shots off, smothered the work, so his opponent can't counter. It's a good win for him, good way to end the year.
Absolutely, and he's given us a real value since he returned after his 5 years away. Lost 5-3 to Jordan Dujon in his first fight back, and now that's a good performance in itself. Dujon's a decent fighter.
Yeah.
Won that prize fighter tournament, boxed for the southern area, got stopped in the 8th by a good fighter.
Every round.
In Jack Martin. And then tangled with Isfan Husseini, losing that one 3-1. And you could see how someone like Husseini would just be a lot better equipped to deal with him, because he can turn around his own front foot. He can back up, give himself that little bit of room, give him a lot of different looks to make him think.
Yeah.
Big smile on his face from Ryan Makok as these two are called to the centre.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest 60 points to 54. The winner in the red corner from Chorleywood, Hertfordshire, Ryan Makok. A round of applause for the brave and gallant Emmanuel Zayan.
Fight that, as we were describing, he dominated from the outset. Really good performance from him. Only his 2nd fight of the year. He had a good long spell out after that defeat for the southern area. Maybe wondered whether he really wanted to continue, because having had a long break and then got to that level and fallen just short, that can give you pause sometimes to have a look at your options, because this is a very hard sport.
Absolutely. I think Ryan Makok's maybe made a decision that he's going all in, and because the way he's come back, he's been very active, been in very competitive fights.
Okay, so we're just waiting for him to wander round to the far side of the ring for a chat with Umar, who I'm sure will be asking him exactly what his ambitions are. Okay, let's go to Umar now.
Yeah, 60-54, won every round there. A gruelling fight though still, but we know what we get in a Ryan Makok fight. Are you happy with that?
No, I'm not. No? I wanted to stop him. My knuckles on my right hand are battered, but he's got a fucking chin on him. Excuse my French, sorry. He's got a chin on him. I hit him with some lovely hooks, some lovely uppercuts, and he was still there, still coming forwards. I then attacked the body. It slowed him down. Everything he was throwing was kind of wild and leaning. I've been working really hard with my dad Dennis and Charlie on not leaning, staying in the middle of my feet, throwing slicker shots. I'm fighting in a couple of weeks on Johnny Clark's Top Tier show. Looking forward to that. Big up Johnny Clark. Yeah, I love boxing, mate. I really enjoyed that. He seemed like a really nice lad. Spoke to him before, but when you're in the ring, you got to give it your all, and I always do that. Every single time you watch all of my fights, I leave everything in the ring. I go for it. That's what I'm here for.
We saw Manny was cut. I thought you might have been cut on the side of the head. Did you have a cut or not?
No, I don't think so. No. I mean, I hit him with everything, so it might have been a clash of heads. I don't know, but I mean, the rest of his face is pretty battered. So yeah, he seems like a really nice lad. I hope he carries on boxing and gets some other fights in soon. But yeah, onwards and upwards for me. I'd love I'd absolutely love a rematch with that mug Ishtan. He's a fool. He fights like a fool.
Did you manage to see any of him tonight before you came on?
I saw 10 seconds of it and thought, what a load of rubbish. He's a mug. We asked him if he wanted the rematch, and they said no, he's not ready. I won that fight. If you watch that back, I won it.
Just before we close off, do you want to send a message to Ishran?
Yeah, you're a mug. Fight me. You mug.
Ryan, well done. Recover those hands.
Disabled people are forgotten about and excluded. It's a real fight for disabled people on a daily basis just to survive.
There's nothing wrong with being disabled. 1 in 4 people are disabled.
Society, when you look at disability, is seen as quite negative.
Disabled people are always fighting, and we shouldn't have to fight. It should just feel right.
Everyone should feel included in today's society.
Every time that Matt steps foot into the ring, he represents change.
Hopefully someone gives me a chance and lets me fight and lets me compete for my country.
Just because you can't see our disabilities doesn't mean that we don't have them.
If he doesn't get a licence, he's got no one to fight, and he shouldn't be held back by some blinking technicality.
We do feel like we are not part of society in many different ways.
If you suddenly lost your hearing, you suddenly lost your sight, how grateful would you feel if there were people around you who were so understanding and wanting to help you?
What can we do to assist you? That's what should be the questions and answers, not no.
I want to get people to understand the importance of why we're fighting for what we do. We've got to see people's talents first rather than the disability.
So much pressure on one man's shoulders, and he's just embraced that. So that's why I've just got so much respect for that man as a fighter and as a human being.
Well, I tell you, the atmosphere is building here at York Hall. Brilliant performance there from Ryan Makok. Delighted to be in the company of a man who couldn't keep away tonight. Adebisi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. What brings you here?
Do you know, I've come to watch a couple of people here, some of my friends as well, so I thought I'd come show my support.
What did you think of that fight just then with Ryan Makok?
Yeah, it was a good fight. Obviously, I've come to watch Emmanuel, and obviously it's a learning fight for him. Everyone learns in this game. He'll come back stronger, and well done to the other opponent.
I think he needed a bit more mobility tonight. That was the problem, because that was a brawl, not a boxing match.
Yeah, of course.
I've got to ask you, you've never fought at the York Hall. It's something missing from your brilliant resume of 12 wins, 9 knockouts, and that brilliant performance a month ago against O'Hara Davis. Why haven't you fought here?
Do you know what? I did have the opportunity to fight here, but I think obviously it was last year, and then I hurt my hand, so obviously I had to pull out the fight. I was meant to fight Ariel here, but it didn't happen. But if the doors are open and I can fight here anytime I will.
The door's open because when you don't like the heat in here, do you?
That's the problem.
I don't mean in the ring,
I
mean the actual heat.
Now the heat over here is really hot. Like for anyone who fights in here, the atmosphere is amazing, but the heat is really hot in here. But I like to come and try it one day.
So many greats of British boxing have boxed here.
Yeah.
I think it's in your future, Adam. We've got to see you here.
Of course, let's see what Ben Shalom says. If he wants me to fight it, I'll fight it. But hopefully I'll be fighting here one day myself.
Tell me about the win over O'Hara Davis, and what's coming up next for you as well. Where are we with Adebisi?
Well, hopefully I've just signed my next fight deal, due to fight in February, so it should be announced very soon, 2 weeks time, hopefully for the IBO World title. But I'm looking forward to it. I can't really announce who I'm fighting yet, but it's going to be a good fight.
So no turkey for you at Christmas then?
There's no turkey for me. I'm going back to camp on Monday, so I'm fully switched on. So yeah,
lovely.
By the way, your division is electric right now as well. There's Pierce O'Leary. Looks like he's going to be in big fights soon as well, coming up on the Magnificent 7 show. Your thoughts on Big Bang Pierce O'Leary?
He's a good fighter. I've got nothing bad to say against him. I just wish him the best of luck. And look, my eyes are not really looking towards him yet. We're all in trajectory to become world champion. Look, my eyes are on Dalton Smith. I think one thing about Dalton, he's chasing me, I ain't chasing him. So I'm going to keep saying that to a lot of people.
Plenty coming up in the career of Adebisi, and plenty more coming up tonight. It is now time for the next fight. The Eagles have landed. Let's head over to Mark Burtis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the ring from Sofia, Bulgaria, Mario Vagayev.
Mario Vergev, 4 wins and 3 defeats. The 4 wins have all come in Bulgaria. Has boxed in the UK once before. That was last April in Rotherham, losing 4 rounds to 2 over 6 against Michael Fafera. His last fight, a 98-second win in Sofia. That was just a couple of weeks ago against Murjidin Husseinov. And he's taking his time with this one, soaking in that York Hall atmosphere that the boys were just talking about. It is a historic venue, this. It is a mecca of boxing. We're used to it, but it is known all around the world.
And please welcome into the ring from Albania, Alban Bermeta.
What a welcome for Alban Bermeta. York Hall has quite the history with Albanian fighters. I mentioned earlier on in the night, Kreshnik Kato, who boxed here 12 times, always used to pack this place out. That's going back 20 years, pretty much. Florian Marco in recent times has drawn a fantastic crowd, and these two, Alban Bermeta and Nelson Hysa, are doing exactly the same thing again tonight. The Albanian Eagle proudly on the chest there of his sleeveless robe. He's 17 wins and 1 draw from his 18 fights, and in his last fight outdoors in Tirana in July, he won the vacant WBO Global Light Heavyweight title. He's at number 13 with the World Boxing Organisation.
Ladies and gentlemen, WBM and Let's Go Management, in association with our proud sponsors Gladius, are proud to present our next bout this evening. It's an 8 3-minute rounds international contest in the light heavyweight division. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner with 4 wins, 2 by way of knockout and 3 losses to his name, weighing in 12 stone, 13 pounds. And tonight, he wears the white, green and red shorts, the colours of Bulgaria. Please welcome from Sofia, Bulgaria, Mario Vergev. And moving across the ring into the blue corner, unbeaten with 17 wins, 13 by way of knockout and a draw to his name. Weighing in 13 stone, 5 pounds, and tonight he wears the red and black colours, the colours of Albania. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Rup, Albania, Alban Bermeta. Your referee is Sean McAvoy, now giving his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, lads, 8-round contest. Keep it clean at all times, keep yourself protected at all times. Touch gloves, here we go. Good luck, lads.
Ladies and gentlemen, 8 3-minute rounds.
So you heard Mark Burdis, 8 3-minute rounds in a light heavyweight division. This is scheduled for Alban Bermeta in the red and black of Albania, the Italian flag on those shorts as well. Turned pro in Italy, had his first 3 fights there. The 1 draw in his record came in his second outing. And Mario Vergev in the Bulgarian colours, and these two going at it from the start here. Vergev looking to try and make an aggressive beginning himself, and Bermeta replying in kind, and this bodes well for a good fight.
There's no feeling out round. There's no... They got stuck in. Met in the middle. Started letting their shots go.
and it looks like they're both going to want to have it up at this kind of close range. Vergiev with a sort of interesting style. He's very rigid, almost robotic, isn't he?
Yeah.
He seems to really carry his arms and shoulders with a lot of tension.
Yes. He seems really tense. Seems to load up on his shots.
Bametta looking for that jab. It's a decent jab too. Won that WBO Global in his last fight outdoors at Skanderberg Square. Nelson Hysa was on that card as well. Nice left to the body there from Bametta. And his opponent retired after the first round. His Nigerian opponent, Obinna Joseph Matthew. He did fine in that first round. He lost it, but he did okay and seemed fine at the end of it. And then on his feet at the end of the minute in between rounds, just refused to come out, which I think Bametta actually was a bit disappointed about. Nice left hand there from Vergiev. A right hand came back from Bametta. And the way that he carries those gloves, Vergiev, there is a bit of space for the body shots. Every now and again, those elbows flare out a bit.
I don't think either man has taken a step back in this opening round. I'd be surprised if this actually goes the distance. They're landing big shots, heavy shots, everything's with purpose and meaning.
It really is, and he just moved Vergiev there about 20 seconds ago, Bametta, with a right uppercut, right hook. I don't think it really hurt him necessarily, but it definitely registered, and I think Bametta is having the better of this. Vergiev is having some successes, and this is where he's choosing to have the fight, but Bamatta's just got that little bit more variety. He chucks an overhand right in there, for example. Every now and again, he can just step off and use the jab, whereas Vergiev needs it right here, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Right hook, right uppercut again there from Bametta. Been a really good opening round, this, though. You could have thrown the blanket over them, couldn't you, in the centre of the ring?
Yeah. That was such an entertaining first round.
There's that uppercut. You could see the head just rock back. And what's it like taking an uppercut? Because I've spoken to lots of fighters about taking different shots, and they say that the uppercut, because you inevitably you don't see it because of where it comes from, it's a real sickener.
Absolutely, it's possibly the worst shot you could get hit with. You don't see it, and it comes from the bottom, and it just jars your whole neck up. Yeah, possibly the worst hurtful shot you could get hit with in a boxing ring or outside.
For spectators as well, it's got that kind of unique visual to it where you see the head snap up and back, which of course it doesn't. That's anatomically impossible, but that's what it looks like. It looks like you've had your neck stretched and then just bent over.
Exactly.
And this with the right hand there, Vergiev, and Bametta immediately just trying to make him pay. Vergiev will creep in and look to try and get really close and get his punches away. Bametta always looking to try and create that little bit more space, as he does there. Left hook there from Vergiev. But Bametta replying with a good combination, showing good reflexes up close there too. And again, Bametta using that uppercut. Vergiev came back with his own, but it's Bametta who is having the better of things. He's just got those quicker hands.
Yeah.
He's got more strings to his bow. Again there, he throws a hook followed by the uppercut.
He rocks his head, you know, moves his head. He doesn't keep his head centered. Throws his shots off it, just like that.
Vergiev looks for more than anything else is that left hook, and again he gets hit by an uppercut. And so far, just over a minute remaining in round 2, he hasn't given much of a reaction to anything that's landed on him, Vergiev, but a left hook there gets through round the back of the guard, but you just wonder how long he can take these for. Strong right hand, and then just roll the way to his right hand side. He's shipping some punishment here, Vergiev, but what he's also doing is he is making Bumeta work really hard, isn't he? Because he's on you all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't give you a chance to kind of breathe. Or to get your shot. There you go, that's a good little flurry.
Right hand into the body, then the left hand up top. But Vergiev again has got this kind of, we mentioned it earlier on, robotic demeanour. He is completely blank and expressionless. He's not registering any kind of pain so far, but he's been hit with some really crisp, clean, stinging punches.
I think that fight kind of suits him, you know, just to stay in the middle, because he's so stiff. He's not, he doesn't really have lateral movement. He's not going to move around a lot, so he's just there. He's happy to take the shots on his forearms and his elbows and his gloves, and then kind of give you back his. To be fair, he's throwing back good combinations, just like that. But he's getting hit clean with crisp shots.
So far, he's taking them well.
Yeah.
But this is a hard way to fight. There's no easy way, but this is a hard way to fight.
It just suits some guys better. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but they just don't have the athleticism to kind of bounce around and play with range, etc. So he just puts himself there with a high guard, takes it on the glove, and gives back as good as it gets.
And you mentioned earlier that what Bumeta does well is that he doesn't stay still. He's got that head on the move. Good overhand right there. Just slips underneath the left hand there. In the previous round, cannoned the big right hand off the jaw and then rolled away to his right hand side. And that's what he needs to continue to do as he puts his punches together. Another dip of the knees and a roll off to the right hand side, because what Vergiev will want him to do is just stand still and swing.
Yeah.
They want him to get greedy, plant his feet and look to really take him out, whereas if he keeps going like this, Bumeta, there's every chance he will be able to stop him. Turn that right hand over at the end. He's nice and loose, Bumeta, so you get the feeling that he could do this for a good few rounds. And he'll need to. That's a good strong 1-2 from Bumeta. Right hand into the body there from Vergiev was decent.
That uppercut's working for him. It'd be nice to see him add something after it. Beautiful right hand.
That overhand right, it's kind of a shallow overhand right, isn't it? It's quite a tight arc on it, but he throws it from up close, but it just gives it that slightly different angle. And that's what's been good about him. Slips the jab there. Good upper body movement. Final 30 seconds of round 3, and Bumeta has dominated this fight so far. What Vergiev will be hoping is that in the second half of the fight he'll come more into it as he...
A lovely combination there.
As another volley just bounced off his jaw and chin there. Vergiev, who's got He's got some whiskers, hasn't he? He can take a shot.
He can. I don't know if that's a good thing, but he can definitely take a shot.
Well, just being made to back up there for the first time. Goes to the ropes. Looks to try and beckon Bametta in and then lets his hands go. And a big deep breath is sucked in there from Bametta as he not collapses onto his stool exactly, but he's beginning to feel this, and it would be impossible for him not to be honest. He just needs to keep doing what he's doing here, Bametta, doesn't he?
I feel like he's just found his rhythm. He's got comfortable. He kind of understands where the shots are coming from. His hands are defensively responsible. He's got them in a good position, so he's catching shots, he's throwing the counters back well, just like this. And I think as the round goes on, his confidence is going to get up.
Second out, round 4.
I mean, he's got the crowd here raving him on, which also helps.
He absolutely has, and he's given them a good display so far. This has been a good fight to watch, and Vergiev has played his part with that in mind, because he was straight in the centre of the ring and looking to let his hands go right from the first bell. He needs a bit of success here, though, Vergiev. Yeah. He needs to try and win around, and if he can't win around, then just land something that gives him a bit of optimism, because at the minute there hasn't been too much cause for that.
This is really good from the Albanian. You can see him, he keeps turning his man. He's not stood in front of him anymore. He's taking small steps, so his opponent has to adjust every time to hit him, and catches him.
And again there you see the head just snap back. He's put them together nicely from the very start of the fight, but as the fight goes on, he's more and more fluid, you would say.
Just found his groove, I feel like.
And he's not trying to reinvent the wheel here. What he's been doing from the beginning has been working, and so he's just continuing to do that.
Beautiful uppercut.
Vergiev with the left hook. Catches Bametta as he was opening out himself there, but didn't do any real damage. And again, there's the uppercut from Bametta. Left hand there has got through, and he knocked him into the ropes. And the referee has waved this one over. Vergiev complains, but the first time that he really made an dent in him there, Bametta, it was enough. He went cannoning into the corner post. It would have been called a knockdown if the referee decided that he was interested in letting Vergiev continue, but McAvoy immediately, Sean McAvoy, waved it over. Vergiev trying to demonstrate his fitness to continue there by doing a few press-ups, and I can understand this point there, Vergiev. He's taken a lot of shots in that fight, but he was still on his feet there. I feel like the referee should, definitely could, have given him the count and just had a bit of a longer look at him before waving that one over.
Yeah, I think the referee maybe thought the ropes were holding him up, where he's lost balance here and he wasn't able to defend himself. But I absolutely agree with you, Andy. I think I would have given him a standing 8 count, looked at him and made a judgment then. You have to know the fighter. Some fighters can take a bit more than others.
But again, it's a couple of good solid shots, isn't it? Finally, he caught him off balance. He caught him clean with 2 nice left hands. He went straight into the ropes. It would have been called a knockdown if he hadn't waved it off, because the ropes absolutely kept him up. But if he'd given that count, then he would have just had a little bit longer. He may have come to exactly the same conclusion, the referee there, so I'm not being too critical. That fight was heading in one direction, but it's funny sometimes, you see a fighter just soak it up, and you think, wow, maybe they can do this all night long, but really they're coping with it until all of a sudden they're not. Exactly. Because it just gets too much. That's a good performance from him though, isn't it?
Brilliant performance. I thought, to begin with, he shouldn't have stood there and traded with this guy, and honestly, he showed that he could, and he had slick defense, counters were great, came up on top.
And that was a good fight to introduce him to the UK public, because it was good to watch right from the very start, and you can just hear the support that he's got.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes 10 seconds of round 4, the contest has been stopped. The winner by TKO in the blue corner from Rap, Albania, Alban Bermeto. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the brave and gallant Mario Vergiev.
So the first half of this Albanian double comes home. Alban Bermeto with the stoppage. He did some really nice work in there, showed a lot of good variety, was slippery with it, wasn't easy to hit himself, got through with some really good crisp punching, and in the end that kind of cumulative effect saw him achieve critical mass, if you like, and Vergiev, as we saw, went barrelling into the ropes, and the referee, who's closer than us, had a good look and decided that was enough. But everybody at York Hall thoroughly enjoyed that.
I think you're right, Andy. I think the referee must have seen it as the beginning of the end and just saved him from taking more punishment than necessary.
And I'll never want to criticise that, because nothing had happened in that fight to suggest that Vergiev was capable of getting back into it, had it, quite simply. He was still in there throwing, but in terms of showing anything to suggest to us that he could turn that around, it just hadn't happened.
No, I think that the result was inevitable.
Sleeveless robes seem to be all the rage these days. Nobody goes for a full-length gown anymore. It's very disappointing. Anthony Joshua does it. Ben Whittaker had an absolute belter in Saudi Arabia in his last fight. But sleeveless robes seem to be the order of the day these days. OK. For that and a few more fashion tips, Alban Bermeto has made his way down ringside. He's with Umar.
Well, I'm joined by Alban Bermeto after a sensational knockout here. The whole of York Hall erupted, so many Albanians here. He must be over the moon with that.
Wow, sot. Faleminderit sot Alban Bermeto thot në mënyrën si ai rraf thot në mënyrën më fantastike më thot. York Hall është bën një mënyrë atmosferë shumë e bukur thot për ty sot.
Po, faleminderit shumë.
Thank you very much.
Krejt organizatorët, faleminderit shumë krejt shqiptarët që kanë ardhur këtu. Unë stërvitem për të fituar, fitore erdhi shumë e bukur, edhe jam shumë i lumtur që janë gjitha njerëz, sepse era parë që bëj boks në Angli dhe në vendin e numër 1 boksit.
Thank you very much. It was a beautiful with organizations and everybody around here and all the community Albanians and whoever else gave me a really, really good atmosphere. And the way I fight in this fight, the fight went very good tonight. Thankful to everybody and to obviously to the York Hall, one of the best venues and the most known around United Kingdom.
Something I noticed was his body work, his body shots were fantastic in there tonight. Just talk to me about that and talk me through the stoppage as well.
Thot që në mënyrën si ke gjytjet e trupit thot që ke bërë ti thot I ke bërë në mënyrë sa shumë e bukur thot. Më tregoj diçka më tepër se mënyrën si shkoi thot, më tregoj diçka të bukur si e pa të planin për me ulat aty në mënyrën si e bën.
Këto me goditjet në poshtë në brez, domethënë mirë në goditjet në bark, janë goditjet më të preferuara të mia. Por edhe pse s'kisha shumë kohë në studiu kundërshtar, në pas që është I kundërshtar, I gjatë dhe luftarak edhe rinte hapur nga barku edhe ishte synimi im 2-3 raundet e para të sulmoja poshtë përse shpërtheja lart ta lodhe kundërshtarin.
Yeah, one of my favorite stuff in boxing is the body shots. The guy was a bit tall, and yeah, he could open up more correctly, and then I could try to give it to him. But I had many more opportunities to do what I had to do, and he went good.
Lastly, fantastic performance there on Box Nation. A lot of people watching. What does he want next after that fantastic win?
Fjalla fundit thot gjë më fantastike që ke bërë sonde këtu në performancën e të York Hall thot. Çfarë është ajo pjesa tjetër që do bësh pas kësaj ndeshje thot, që ku ke çef të arrisësh ti që të vazhdosh?
Unë me këtë ndeshje shkoj 15 në botë dhe jam kampion WBO global. Unë shpresoj që bëj për një titull më të rëndësishëm, inshallah qof në Angli.
I'm almost right now. I think I'm going to be dropping down to the 15th in the world. Obviously, he's the first in Albania, and he would like to have an opportunity to get to the higher profile. Now, let's see.
Yeah. Listen, well done. You lit up your call. See you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, we told you it was going to be a special night with a real Albanian feel. What a performance there from Alban. And listen, Sonny Warren, you've helped bring this all together. You must be pretty pleased with how the night's going so far.
Extremely pleased. Look, we've had a couple of WBM fighters on here. Karim, cracking performance. Ishvan, you see how Ishvan boxes. I mean, you see him flipping the ring when he was on the Queensbury show, and he's done fantastic. A great fight before this one. I thought Ryan Makok was eye on. I thought it was a great fight. And we just seen probably the fight of the night, and well, not yet, we've still got the heavyweight, but it's been amazing. I mean, look at the atmosphere here, and it's what we said, International Fight Night. The internationals are packing it out.
They certainly are. There was supposed to be 3 Albanian Eagles on this show. Of course, we've still got the main event to come up. Unfortunately, this young man here, Neraldo Yameri, couldn't get his fight away. Sonny, just tell us why Neraldo isn't featuring tonight.
Well, there was a bit of a mix-up with his opponent's paperwork. We couldn't get it in on time because there's a new federation out in Mexico. But we kind of feel sorry for Neraldo. He's done well on his tickets, and it's unfortunate he weren't here tonight. He's seen what's happening here. He's seen the production. Everything's big, and unfortunate to be on the show. But we've had a chat with Neraldo. We've got big things for him in the next year, and we're excited where he can go in the sport. He's got a great record, he's a great fighter, and I think as soon as he gets going again in the next year, we're going to see fantastic performances and probably getting on big promotional stage as well.
Your supporters will be incredibly disappointed, but not as disappointed as you. You were fully locked and loaded. What do you go through when you have to kind of recede and take that energy you've put together during camp? And you made a certain weight for the first time as well, didn't you?
So this training camp was so long for me because I was meant to fight in 19th of October, and after it was pushed and now in 22 November, and it was the first time for me trying the super lightweight division. I used to fight in super welterweight and welterweight, and the guys who do boxing understand what I'm saying. I tried super lightweight this time. It was really hard for me, focused on diet and training day by day, every day, twice a day. A full-time job, which is boxing, for a long time. I was loaded, really loaded for this fight. If you see the atmosphere right here, my guys, like my people, Albanian community as well, are the best. So I was ready and I was loaded to show them who I am and to make them happy and proud for me. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, and I'm a bit disappointed. But I can't stop. You know, I'm fully loaded, and to unload. They say sometimes you need to meditate, sometimes to just stop for a bit, just to not explode. So I need to make a little mental recovery for a little bit short time. It doesn't need too much. Maybe go just a bit to meet my family in Albania. And after, I'm really sure and I'm really prepared to do big things in a new year.
Can you enjoy Christmas and then get into camp then? Is that what you're saying? Just enjoy Christmas.
Exactly. We have to enjoy a bit of life as well. So, yeah, I'm going to be ready for next big things as well.
Neraldo, I've got to ask you, we've heard the fans here for Bermeta there. It's incredible. Why do the Albanian fans get behind their fighters so much?
It's a culture. it's a mentality and it is emotional. So we are people who like and love each other, and especially we are there for each other in a moment that we need each other. When you need help and you ask for an Albanian guy, he's going to be the first one helping you with whatever he has. So it is in our culture, in our community, and I'm an Albanian guy right here, and I'm not alone, if you see. So they're coming with me. When I go, wherever I go, they come with me, and there are a lot. And they are the best supporters out there. They do it from the bottom of the heart, nothing else.
And we're expecting the same for the main event coming up very shortly with Nelson Hysa. Tell me, what can you tell me about Nelson Hysa? He seems to be a bit of a hero amongst Albanians.
Yeah, he's a big man. You know, he's a really big one, and he has a really good record. He showed himself out there. Everybody knows him in Albania, heavyweight for a long, long time, the national champion, and now he's doing really, really good and in his professional career. And we're looking for another Albanian making us proud. He's one, I'm the second, somebody there is the third, the fourth, but we are all together, you know.
The Eagles have landed at your call.
The Eagles have landed, you know that.
We can see it, we can see it. Sonny, tell me this. A lot of innovation tonight, a few screens up around at Gareth at boxing events every week, and he was raving about this. You've done a good job tonight, Sonny.
Well, look, the shows are getting bigger, the viewers are increasing. We want to give the audience something to cheer behind, and I think we're very happy with the production here. Arena Video done a fantastic job with this tonight, and it's bigger and better. We're going to bigger things, we're going to more title fights, and hopefully this, like we said when we started off, this is the pathway to get onto the bigger shows. This is the pathway. We've seen it happen already. We've seen it happen with fighters that have been on Box Nation shows, and now they've been on the big shows. So we're looking forward to our next couple of fights. We've got British and Commonwealth Women's title next on the 8th of December. We expect that to be a big crowd in here, and then we're kicking straight off next year. We've got a show January coming up, then we're on February, March, looking to keep busy.
Your people.
Yes, wherever the Albania is mentioned, we come and the vibe come with us. The emotions are with us. So if you see, it's like the salt in the salt in the food. So we are
flavor.
Yeah, we are the flavor. So yeah, wherever the Albanians are, you can taste it, you can feel it, you can feel the energy in it.
On it off air, you were saying a very interesting thing that during the Soviet regime, professional boxing was banned for a long time, and when it came back, everybody wanted to get involved.
Yeah, well, so in that back on the time it was stopped from the communism, and after that we started slowly to get into. And if you see, unbelievable, we are emotional people, and we really are fighters in our DNA. So that's why boxing was part of us before it was a culture of the sport. So that's why we are big supporters, community supporters to the boxing show, because it's a fight, a real fight.
Fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. And Perman Dece to viewers joining us in Albania. We'll be back very, very shortly after this.
Disabled people are forgotten about and excluded. It's a real fight for disabled people on a daily basis just to survive.
There's nothing wrong with being disabled. 1 in 4 people are disabled.
Society, when you look at disability, is seen as quite negative.
Disabled people are always fighting, and we shouldn't have to fight. It should just be a right.
Everyone should feel included in today's society.
Every time that Matt steps foot into the ring, he represents change.
Hopefully someone gives me a chance and lets me fight and lets me compete for my country.
Just because you can't see our disabilities doesn't mean that we don't have them.
If he doesn't get a licence, he's got no one to fight. And he shouldn't be held back by some blinking technicality.
We do feel like we are not part of society in many different ways.
If you suddenly lost your hearing, you suddenly lost your sight, how grateful would you feel if there were people around you who were so understanding and wanting to help you?
What can we do to assist you? That's what should be the questions and answers, not no.
I want to get people to understand the importance of why we're fighting for what we do. We've got to see people's talents first rather than the disability.
So much pressure on one man's shoulders, and he's just embraced that. So that's why I've just got so much respect for that man as a fighter and as a human being.
Well, back here with Sam Gilly. Sam, you know a thing or two about scoring a good knockout at York Hall, and you've just seen one.
Oh, that was a fantastic performance. I mean, to do that in front of the crowd that he's brought, he put the shots together really well, and yeah, great stoppage and a statement victory.
Great stoppage. Was it a great stoppage?
I thought it was a little bit premature, but it was like a stoppage by general demand of the audience. I think here it is. I mean, it was a great left hand, but he did 7 press-ups afterwards.
If the referee doesn't stop it there, he can get seriously hurt.
No, I don't disagree with you, but the opponent wasn't happy. Very proud man.
Yeah.
Wanted to do it. He was down doing his press-ups afterwards. That's a man, isn't it? That's a man doing it.
He made his point.
With a dizzy head.
What an audience! What an audience! What spectatorship we have from the Albanians, though.
Oh, it's mad. I mean, like, you've never seen nothing like it. The way they come out and support their fighters. Like, we've seen it with Makok, we've seen it with that fight previously. And I mean, the main event's still to come, so it's only going to get louder.
Are you going to try and sort of find some sort of Albanian ancestry in your family to tap into this market, Sam?
I mean, I struggle to sit out a balcony, let alone the whole thing. So, no, I mean, the support they bring is another level.
What did you think of Esteban Herzeni earlier? He's a fighter that you know well. He's a fighter that you have shared some rounds with in sparring.
Tell the truth, come on, because it's fascinating.
I mean, listen, he can rub you up the wrong way.
Did he rub you up the wrong way?
He did rub me up the wrong way, yeah. We, listen, sparring's about, well, it's work at the end of the day. And he was even more arrogant, I would use as a kind word, than he was tonight. I mean, like, listen, he's got a great talent. He was a very, very good spar when he was standing there working, but he's a lot of all trying to dance around and not much else. Do you know what I mean? He just tries to stay at the end of the range and just tap you on the forehead sort of thing. He was a very, very good amateur. So he tries to point score sort of thing, but as he gets further down the line, that won't wash with some elite level fighters.
I think Bameta's up there in the crowd on the balcony enjoying himself with the fans at the moment, getting hugged. And what I was going to say was, I don't want to kind of talk about sparring stories here, but you're right. When you're sparring, you're laying the foundations of the building, you're building the scaffolding, you're honing your craft, and he's more of a showboat. I mean, I think he's extremely talented.
Oh, he is.
He's got a phenomenal jab, he moves brilliantly. The problem for me, and I apparently does it more with you when you're in sparring, is it's like watching him imitate 10 different boxers.
Yeah.
And he almost enjoys himself too much.
Oh, no, he does enjoy it, but I'd just like to see that... Like,
solidity.
And when it does get rough and tough in there, he was getting caught. But listen, when he's on the end of his jab and like over a short distance, it's hard to. I think I only done 6 rounds with him. Like the first 4 rounds were a nightmare because he don't stop moving. So, but as he gets further down the line, 10, 12 rounds, he started to slow down. I think he lost the last round in that fight. He's doing 8, 10, 12. It doesn't work all the time.
You need substance as well as style, don't you? I think that's the key.
That was the phrase you used earlier, yeah, very good.
Do you agree, though?
Yeah, I do, yeah, 100% I do.
There was also a super welterweight debut for Dylan Adebisi.
Yes.
He looked pretty good. You were making a few faces watching him.
Very, very, very good. As he come out, Lee Eaton said to me, this boy can fight. So, and yeah, I mean, great balance. Gareth said after the fight, very athletic, picked his shots beautifully. We all know I like a left hook to the body, so the way he touched up, and what I was saying earlier, touch, come down, disguise the shot. You can't ask for better on a debut. That was outstanding.
Will he remember his debut? Do you remember yours?
Do I remember mine? Yes, because it was probably my worst performance ever.
Right.
I literally built it up. So it's the biggest day of your life. You dream from when you put on a pair of gloves of your professional debut. And I boxed someone who was about 4'5", and he weren't orthodox. He weren't southpaw. He sat low, and I just couldn't put him down. And I was weighing in on the day, and I think I was about 66 kilos. So I had enough energy to walk across the ring, let alone fight.
Well, that's interesting, because I've heard some fighters say their debut, it's just a blur sometimes. Yeah. So I wonder, with Dylan there, who got his man out of them pretty quickly, I wonder how much he actually remembers from it.
He seems like quite a composed character. The way he boxes, just sitting on his back leg, just he's reading every situation with that little wide stance, sitting towards the back of his stance. You get that little bit more of a view, so you can assess what's going on. And he didn't rush nothing. He weren't trying to bomb away. He placed his shots, and that's what really impressed me about him. The composure for a debut. I didn't have that. So that's exceptional work for me. Very impressed.
He really was substance and style on the night.
Yeah, he was exactly that. Yeah.
And like I say, the composure, he really enjoyed the performance. Look, he's won a national title, he's won London titles. It looks like he's turned pro at exactly the right time.
100%.
He'll never catch you up at 19 fights already.
No. I mean, I'll be long gone by the time he's at my stage, I think. But no, listen.
Would you have him in for sparring?
100%. I'd spar anyone. Like I just said, sparring's about, no matter what level you are, you need to take something from every single spar. Yeah. Take something you can improve on. Even watching him there, I'm looking at him going, cool, when I get someone in the corner next time, I could try that. Put your weight on your back. Like, you nick things from everyone. You never stop learning this game, so of course I'd spar.
Yeah, it's not nicking, it's craft.
It's craft. He's adding. What's next for you, Sam? I mean, look, a couple of months ago, we saw you stoppage win here against Jack McGann. Yeah. There's always this talk about Louis Green and British title, but what about a bit of European? Come on.
I mean, listen, the dream for me when I turned pro was a British title. I mean, me and Rod only ever spoke about southern areas. So the fact we've like sort of blagged it almost is what it feels like. But
too modest.
I said, if I won a British title, I could retire the next day and be completely content with my career. Because when I was a kid, I had a little BlackBerry, and on that BlackBerry at school was a British title. That was my world title. So the fact that's in touching distance, after that, everything's a bonus. But European, yeah. Let's have it.
Listen, the champion, he's got a bit of a reputation of beating British opponents. Sam Eggington, he beat him. Yeah. Macaulay McGowan, he beat him. Sam Gilly, could he beat him?
No, he couldn't, no. No, listen, he's a great fighter. I've seen him live. I watched him here, actually. Very good fighter, very tricky. But listen, you're going to back yourself against anyone in this game.
This is a Brow, of course, the European champion. Could be a wonderful next fight for Sam Gilly. If the British, for whatever reason, doesn't happen, we don't know.
The trouble is with this guy, he doesn't do smack talk because he's a proper old school gentleman.
No, I'll do one in there.
Like, that's what I mean. That you're not going to call him out now here live on TV and call him this, that, and the other.
I mean, you could if you want.
I won't be doing that. I'm not. That's not a bit of me. Listen, I'm excited every time I'm in the ring. There's no need for me to start. If someone rubbed me up the wrong way, you're going to get a little bit out of me. So I hope I ain't giving no any hints there. Like, next press conference, I could be in trouble now.
Has that happened yet? Has anyone?
Curtis Felix for the southern area.
Got it.
He wound me up a little bit. He was late. I think he was late to the weigh-in. He didn't turn up to the presser. And his brother started giving me some jip. And I proper nibbled. Obviously, it didn't matter on the night because I was composed. I got the win. But yeah, I proper nibbled at the weigh-in. But I was trying to laugh it off, but inside I was burning.
Look, we see this happen. Sometimes the family members do get involved. Sometimes they're more yappy than the fighters themselves.
Honestly, I was staring at him for the weigh-in. I'm looking at him, and I got someone. I was like, but he looks a spitting image of him. I was like, hang on, why are you starting? It proper threw me.
Listen, let's talk a little bit about all the schedule of boxing that's coming up. Of course, December 7th, TNT Sports, the OVO Arena, Wembley. Frank Warren's Magnificent 7 return. Brilliant main event there, Brad Pauls and Denzel Bentley. I'm keen to get your thoughts on this one, Sam.
I mean, I've sparred both. I mean, both personally great lads. Really, they're both very much like me. They won't do that sort of that side. They're very respectful. They're gentlemen, both of them. But listen, Denzel's been my sparring partner for the last 2 camps now. I've got to back Denz, mate. He's an exceptional fighter. He's been at world level. Yeah, I have got to back Denz, and yeah, like I say, he's helped me out massively over the last two camps. And if I get Louis again, obviously he'll be helping me out for a third camp as well.
The thing is as well, I was going to say that he's not just been at world level, he fell short against a very, very exceptional world champion in Alim Kanuli. Nearly took him all the way. And I think Brad Pauls, though, he looks so good at the moment. Self-belief is there for him as well.
100%.
Very tough man.
Yeah, I mean, it's Brad is not going to stop. Brad's like me. Like, we started off on Goodwin shows, smalls, and we broke through. We're boxing for the titles that were only in our dreams. So he is going to go hammer and tong to keep that belt. And if Denz ain't on his game, we see against Nathan Heni, he weren't on his game that day, and he comes short. If that Denzel turns up again and he doesn't, and he isn't as switched on as he should be, who knows?
You're leaning towards Denzel.
But
he's more than leaning.
No, listen, Denz is my boy. I've got to back Denz.
But it's a pick'em for me. It's a pick'em.
Well, it's interesting because, of course, Brad Pauls has beaten Nathan Heni. Nathan Heni has beaten Denzel Bentley, but I think Denzel Bentley is the favourite against Brad Pauls.
Yeah, but A beats B, B beats C, C beats A. That's the weird algorithm. Expect the unexpected. Frank Warren was shot in 1990. 9 months later, he's promoting Frank Sinatra. This is a very strange world.
A very strange segue as well there from yourself, Gareth. But tell me about this. That feels like the winner of that fight, Frank Warren, who you brought up there, has said he will get a world title shot. We've seen what's happening in the middleweight division. Hamza Shiraz is not fighting Yanibek Alim Kanuli. It looks like he's going to go another world title route, which moves Denzel Bentley up a position, putting that position on the line against Brad Pauls. Winner probably gets Yanibek.
Yeah. And that's who Denzel boxed last time,
It
right?
is.
It was, yeah.
And a bit more self-belief.
Yeah, 100%. And he's been in there with him, so... I mean, I've spoken to Denzel about that fight, and he said he is an elite operator. He said he's just like what we're saying about Itzwan with the range. He said Yanibek is literally there, but he's like gliding in and out of range, and he's so good in the little tight spaces. So I mean, and you can tell Denzel's, when you spar Denzel, you can tell he's got that experience because he does very similar things. He's so hard to nail clean, but he's standing there.
Yeah, very interesting.
He's very good fighter.
Interesting.
Denzel said himself before, he feels like his loss to Nathan Heni caused a bit of a mess in the middleweight division, and he's now just going to sort of clean that up. That's how he's seeing it.
Absolutely, but do you know what? I've got to say, I'm really looking forward to the heavyweight scrap now. Because these Albanians are good. The heavyweights now.
Yes, the heavyweights now. Listen, we've got Hysa up very, very shortly. The new pride of Albania, unbeaten so far. I can't wait to see him. I know this place, the roof is going to come off York Hall. History could be made. This place is going to lose its roof.
I mean, it's probably nearly come off a couple of times over the years, but yeah, this place is packed out, and they are loud. Very loud, so I'm looking forward to this.
I do hope that if Hysa really provides another knockout tonight, obviously he's undefeated, he's 40 years old, let's have a Joe Joyce scrap. Let's put him in against Mo Satama. Let's test him. Sonny didn't seem to disagree, Sonny Warren, about moving him into that massive heavyweight mix that Frank Warren runs right now.
Well, listen, he's 40 years old. He's going to want the big fights ASAP. He had a long, storied amateur career, Albanian national champion many times, but at 40, give me the fights, and now he's got to make a bit of an impression tonight.
He needs to get a move on. 40 years old, that's what always, obviously when you're an elite amateur and you've got to start, every 4 years you're waiting for an Olympics, Obviously we know with Joyce, that's why he turned over late. But that's a great shot, because that's a great fight.
But it brings an audience. These guys will follow. There'll be thousands of... Remember when Florian Marku came through?
Of course.
That eagle was flying everywhere. The O2 Arena, when he fought there, he brought... I know he lost, but he brought the major crowds. They love their fight sports.
I've sparred Marku as well, and these boys are tough.
Yeah.
They are tough.
Well, a lot of them start with martial arts, mixed martial arts, don't they?
Honestly, you don't get a soft Albanian, you don't. Like, every time you spar them, they're rock hard, and you're like, mate, why are you so strong?
Yeah, look, I see it here tonight, to be honest. I've done a couple of looks at people, they've looked at me back, I haven't kind of liked it, but hey, that's just there. Maybe I'm just but tell me this.
But Bracamonte knows his way.
Yes,
the Argentine opponent knows his way around a ring. It depends what kind of guy turns up tonight. If he feels like it, he can be awkward, he can be durable. He's very experienced. He's been in against, I can't remember them all, but Jarrell Miller, been the distance with him, hasn't he? Fraser Clark. And others, Dave Allen. If a different guy turns up sometimes, so who knows what he wants to do tonight? Might fancy really peeing off the partisan crowds.
I hope not.
If he does, I'm running out that door.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a great sort of gauge as to where he is with who he's been in with. Like you say, he's gone the distance with Jarrell Miller, boxed Dave Allen, you told me.
Yeah.
So he's been in there with some good fighters. So,
and in the heavyweight division, Sam, age doesn't always matter.
No, it doesn't.
That's the one
thing.
division.
No, it doesn't.
That is the one division where it doesn't matter, but what does matter is getting the win tonight for Nelson Hysa, who is now about to make his way to the ring. Stand by, this place is about to go off. Let's head over to Mark Burtis.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Please welcome into the ring from Cordoba, Argentina, Ariel, Esteban, Bracamonte.
Boos for Bracamonte, but that won't bother him in the slightest. 31 years old, 13 wins, 11 defeats. He's mixed in some really good company. I commentated on that fight against Dave Allen. It was on the Usyk Bellew undercard back in November 2018. He took it on short notice. He wasn't really expected to cause too many problems, and he dragged Allen into a grueling, dirty, bloody fight. It was great. He retired after 7, but did plenty of good work. He's been a distance with Dempsey McKean, Jarrell Miller, Solomon Dakers. The last time out won the Argentinian heavyweight title. He is a handful.
And please welcome into the ring a WBO European and IBO International Heavyweight Champion from Skoda, Albania, Nelson Hysa!
Nelson Hysa, 40 years old, 18 fights, 18 wins, 16 by way of knockout. And that's all in 2.5 years. A 20-year amateur career representing Albania. Started with a bronze at the European Juniors in Poland in 2003, culminating in the World Championships in Tashkent in 2023. Boxed at 4 World Championships in total, ran into some really, really good fighters. But now he wants to see how far he can go as a pro. Number 12 with the WBO, courtesy of that WBO European title. Honestly though, it's hard to read too much into that record. He's not really been in with anyone who's posed too much of a threat. He is tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, WBM and Let's Go Management, in association with our sponsors, Gladius, are proud to present the main event of the evening, a 10 3-minute rounds international contest in the heavyweight division, live and exclusive on Box Nation via the YouTube channel. Your officials have been appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your supervisor is Mr. Chaz Coakley. Your timekeeper at the bell is Mr. Stephen Pucci. And when the action begins, your referee in charge is Mr. Mark Bates of Hawley. And now, introducing the contestants. Firstly, in the red corner, with 13 wins, 7 by way of knockout, and 11 losses to his name. Wearing the black shorts, weighing in 21 stone, 9 pounds. Please welcome from Cordoba, Argentina, Ariel Esteban Bracamonte. And moving across the ring into the blue corner, weighing in 18 stone, 9 pounds, wearing the red and black shorts of Albania. He comes to us this evening unbeaten with 18 wins, 16 by way of knockout. Please welcome from Skoda, Albania, the WBO European and IBO International Heavyweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Nelson Hysa! Your referee, Mark Bates, will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, gentlemen, listen, when I tell you to break, take a step back immediately. If the punch is up, obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. You'll also go to
Mark Bates,
this is 10,
the referee, this scheduled for
rounds.
10 rounds or fewer in the heavyweight division. Nelson Hysa boxing out of that blue corner. He's on the left-hand side of your screen there in the black, trimmed with red. Ariel Bracamonte, the Argentinian champion, in the black. I remember seeing Nelson Hysa in the World Championships in 2021. He was in the ring I was commentating on, ran into Nigel Paul in the preliminaries. Good fighter, Nigel Paul. And went out in his first fight. And that was a theme for him at the World Champs. He just kept running into good fighters. Roberto Camarelli in 2007, who became a double world champion, Olympic gold medalist. Kubrat Pulev 2 years later. Nigel Paul 2021, and then Jules Congo in 2023, who went on to get to the quarterfinals at the Paris Olympics. So didn't have the rub of the green in terms of those draws, but still achieved fantastic longevity. Tall fighter, that kind of stand-up style, holds that left hand up high, kind of oscillates in front of him. Bracamonte will try and tuck up and come forward and get closer. Hysa just setting his feet and putting some power onto that 1-2. Again with the 1-2, that's taken on the gloves there though from Bracamonte. The crowd liked it, but it didn't get through.
He's maintaining the range really well with that lead hand, Nelson.
And then just digs his toes in and looks for that body attack, and he needs to do that, doesn't he? He's got to use that lead left hand. If it's just a distraction, whatever it is, if he really sinks it in, he's got to make Bracamonte think, because what Bracamonte wants to do is walk him down, essentially.
He wants to get in close and he wants to make it messy. You can see that early on here.
Cuffing right hand there from Hysa, and Bracamonte just gave ground, bounced off the ropes, heading into the final 30 seconds of round one. That's a good right hand there from Hysa, and I think he feels like he might have made a little bit of an impact there because of the way that he followed that up. Bracamonte, I think, took it fine. Hysa just pushing Bracamonte to the canvas there. No knockdown, obviously. Referee wipes off the gloves at the end of round one. A good opening round there for Hysa.
Brilliant opening round for Hysa, I say. Ariel seems to be breathing very heavily for someone who didn't do very much.
Well, he does have quite a lot of weight to carry around with him. It's not a body beautiful contest, as fighters have demonstrated down the years. Your fitness to fight is not necessarily correlative with
Corners, 10 seconds.
what you look like, but there is unnecessary spare weight there. Let's be real.
Seconds out. Round 2.
Back on that jab.
Good 1-2 there from Hysa. And Bracamonte goes barreling down into his own red corner. He feels that was more of a balance issue, but the punches landed. I think he may well then have tripped over his own feet slightly, but that's absolutely a legitimate knockdown, and Hysa just looking to step in and let those hands go. The key here is that he keeps that distance where it needs to be. He doesn't get over-eager and rush in. Bracamonte, I think, is looking to try and fire back if he can. Wants to try and prove a point, maybe. Hysa is going after him here, and down he goes again. The referee signals no knockdown that time. I think that's the correct call from Mark Bates. He pushed him down through the ropes. But he's in some trouble here, Bracamonte. Short right hand there from Hysa is a lovely shot. And he is stretched out on his back. He rolls onto his side now, spits out the gum shield. The referee gets the count and waves it over, and you can see him sobbing up in the ring centre there, Bracamonte. He was caught with a short right hand. He went down heavy. And from that moment on, from the way that he went down, you suspected that he probably wasn't going to make it. He spat out the gum shield, maybe in an attempt to try and buy himself a little bit more time, but the referee had a look at him and waved it over, and I think he's in some trouble there as he goes back to the corner. The doctor will have a look at him, but he is sobbing his heart out in that red corner, whether it's pain, disappointment, a mixture of the two, I suspect. But that is an emphatic performance from Nelson Hysa. He got him going, Newman, and he finished him.
Yeah, that was a beautifully timed right hand. He just came rushing in, trying to get close to his man, so he didn't let Hysa work. Hysa timed him perfectly and caught him coming in with a right hand.
Well, we're just having another look at it here, and that's the first knockdown, and he lost his balance as he moved backwards, but it was a legitimate knockdown. The second one, he did push him down, so the referee called those two absolutely right. And let's have a look at the finish.
Oh, he pulled down. Oh, that was lovely. He pulled down his guard and shot a short right hook. So he didn't see it coming. Pulls down the guard, shoots the right hand. Beautiful.
That was a good piece of work. And the way that he went down, you can tell a lot about whether a fighter's going to get up from the way that they go down. If they put out a glove to break their full turner hit, then you know that they've got a better chance. If they go down like they've stepped off the edge of a building, which is what happened there basically, then you know that it's going to be hard. He got back to his knees, but the referee told off that count of 10. And
the trouble is when you don't see the shot coming, which he didn't, because he had his lead hand up on his chin, Hysa pulled it down, shot a short right hook. And when you don't see the shot coming, the brain doesn't have a second to register. I'm getting hit, can't brace yourself, can't prepare, and off you go.
That is exactly it. That's what you can achieve if you can catch somebody with something they don't see. As you say, those brace mechanisms are just not in place. A well-trained professional fighter, and I know Bracamonte might not look like that, but he will be one. If they see it coming, they can prepare for impact and absorb it.
Absolutely. Fantastic finish from Hysa.
And it has been a good night for the Albanians. Bametta with a good performance, and then at heavyweight what you always want is an explosive finish. People come to see knockouts in that top division. That is absolutely what they come to see. They want to see somebody stretched out flat on their back. It might sound a bit heartless, but it's a cold business, and that's exactly what Hysa has supplied us with there. And that couldn't really have gone any better if you were in the Nelson Hysa business.
It'll be interesting to see how they move Nelson Hysa. He's in a very popular weight category, and he's just demonstrated a great performance.
Well, Bracamonte is in better spirits now, I'm pleased to report. But he would have come here with some ambition tonight, absolutely. He would have looked at that record and thought to himself that, you know, he could test this guy, he could take him deep. It hasn't proved to be the case.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute, 12 seconds of the second round, the contest has been stopped. The winner by knockout in the blue corner from Skoda, Albania, Nelson Hysa!
So Hysa goes 19-0, 17 knockouts. A couple of fighters have stopped Bracamonte early. One was Fraser Clark, the other was Ivan Dichko, who was a much decorated international amateur. A couple of Olympic bronze medals, a couple of World Championship silver medals. So that's the kind of company that he's in there, Hysa, having dispatched Bracamonte, who's picked up numerous defeats during his career, but we listed off the amount of people that he's been the distance with. So whichever way you slice this, that is an impressive display. People like a heavyweight Newman, promoters particularly like a heavyweight who can sell them some tickets, and he can definitely do that.
He can. I think he's able to box, he's able to punch, he's able to sell tickets. What more do you want from a heavyweight?
Okay, he's up in the ring now with Umar. Let's hear from him now.
Nelson, what a victory there. Bracamonte's taken Gerald Miller the distance before Dempsey McKean, and you flattened him tonight. You must be over the moon.
Listen, first of all, I want to thank all these people here. And finally, I want to speak in Albanian because you faleminderit shumë gjithëve që keni ardhur. Sorry for Albania. Ju jam mirë njohës gjithëve. Faleminderit shumë. Ishte kënaqësi që të boksoja sande këtu, edhe që t'i tregojmë botës, edhe anglisë përkatësisht, që jemi më të mirët e botës, jena shqiptar.
Nelson, just got to ask you, talk me through that stoppage. It was a devastating shot. Bracamonte is a very tough man, as I said, taken world-class guys to distance before. Just talk me through it.
Listen, Bracamonte have never fought with an Albanian boxer. It's the first time, so he lose in this mode. Listen, we are the strongest boxer of all the world. It's in Albania. You will see. We will show it.
Nelson, this is a big platform tonight. A lot of British fight fans have been watching this on Box Nation. Have you sent out a statement to the heavyweight division and the heavyweights in Britain?
Sorry, I forgot to say thank you to the promotion here, to the Warren family. They give me this chance to come here and to do the match here. It's my pleasure to be in Warren promotion, in Warren family. So I think and I expect a big match with the big names of the world. We deserve. I think we will do more good than this match. So please, all big promoters in UK and in all the world, give me the big boxer. Give me the champion.
I just said to Nelson, look, I think he sent a statement out, especially to the British heavyweights. You know, this was on a British promotion here. Where can we see him go next?
Well, the sky's the limit. I mean, as Dev said earlier on, the Eagles have landed. They're in the UK. The biggest heavyweight division is in the UK. Let's try and make a UK fight. Let's get the crowd to see where it is. But he deserves to be on a big show, under a big promotion. And as you see by the atmosphere in here tonight with the crowd, he's done absolutely superbly. And who would want to see Nelson on a big show? Everyone here?
I'm sure you echo that.
Faleminderit tanëve për mbështetjen. One thing is for me very important. I want Chisora to fight with him. Chisora, you shouldn't be here with David Hay. Thank you very much.
I'll leave the last word to you, Nelson.
Again in Albanian. Faleminderit shumë. Shpresoj që shifni nesha dhe më të mëdha. Falni. Du me falenderu kretarin e bashkisë më të bukur të botës, zotin Benet Besi, që na njeh çdo neshë tonën. Faleminderit zoti kryetar. Shumë faleminderit. Bekime. Yes, I want to thank the mayor of the most beautiful city in the world, or city of Lashkodra. He's Mr. Bennett Betsy. So thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Mr. Pandeli Maiko. Thank you, Mr. Taulan Bala. Thank you, Mondi Meltzer, that do this very big show, and one of the most big and promoter is in all the Balkan, Mr. Dali Borban, and also my personal promoter with Brigade Saidai. I want to thank the Warren family, my friend that is here. I want to thank yes, Mervin is our friend, he's an Albanian friend. So please let me speak in Albanian. I am more comfortable. Faleminderit se edhe herë. Ju shpërblej shangëzime gjithëve. Shumë faleminderit.
Well done, yeah? Thank you.
Well, Nelson Hysa has been trying so hard to get a fight in the UK, trying to come here and make a statement. 2-round demolition job of Ariel Bracamonte. He did just that. Impressed, Sam Gilly?
I mean, yeah. I said it was a good measuring stick of where he was, and he's come out and he's delivered an emphatic knockout. So, I mean, you can't ask for much better. Everyone's going to go home happy. He wants Chisora. So, and I want to see that as well. I
like that. That was it's good that he ended it with a bit of a call out there. He said thank you to a lot of people, Gareth. I think you maybe even got a thank you there at some point. I think you might have got one, Sam, but he's happy.
Well, it was a bit like a "This is your life" speech, wasn't it? I mean, the mayor of his city, and look, he's got a great personality. I thought he was very composed. Yeah. I was disappointed in Bracamonte, by the way, because he went over, he didn't look fit enough to me. I'm not taking anything away from the victory. I loved that sharp chopping right hand, but he's composed, he took his time, he's got a fantastic jab, a great personality, and I love it if he's going to be talking up a Derek Chisora fight. But there's a Joe Joyce fight there, there's a Mo Zitama fight there. Come over here, fight all our heavyweights. We love you, mate.
Listen, he clearly sells tickets. This place was absolutely rammed tonight. A lot of noise for him as well. He's the WBO European champion, which means he's top 15 with the WBO. You never know what that could lead to, Gareth.
Look, there's so many things it could lead to. He clearly fancies it. He's 40 years of age. He stops opponents readily. He's in the right market right now. He's in the right stable. Warren management, and Warren, as in Frank Warren and Queensbury, is all about the heavyweights. Frank won't thank me for saying that, but is the most powerful heavyweight stable on earth. That man is onwards and upwards, and with a crowd like this, he'll take thousands with him.
Tell me this, with Bracamonte, I mean, I saw something I haven't seen before. You said that he'd be upset. I think he was certainly upset. He was crying on the floor. What did you see there?
I mean, I've seen quite a few things in boxing, but I've never seen a man cry in a corner. Listen, there's nothing wrong with crying.
No,
we all do
absolutely.
it. But I mean, but he wasn't just like, he was sobbing his heart out, like, bless him.
Whilst trying to get to his feet. I think we're going to have a look at this knockout as well.
Well, it's a crying shame what happened to him. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
We're going to see this knockout. Look at that beautiful face. It's Sam Gillies. It's not. It's not the knockout, but we will see it.
Whose idea was it to get
the right hand
Gillies?
that came in
Goodness
and knocked
me.
him out. It was a right hand, like a chopping right hand. He did the job. He looked like he had the appetite. I think Bracamonte was overawed by the presence
the pressure,
of Hysa as well.
all of
Pressure
this.
and presence.
Well, I said when he walked out, I said that is one scary man. Just the atmosphere with it. I said
the Godfather theme.
You could feel the energy with that music, the ring walk. It was laser focused. And I said to you, if that man's walking out, you are going to be, your heart's going to be pumping. So, and it definitely carried into the ring.
He's got something about him. Sam, you've got something about you as well. Thank you so much. Very nice set of Nashes. I've told you before, very good. I don't think I want to get on too many streams of you. You're just too good looking, if I'm honest, mate. I mean,
and he's got very hard chin,
yeah. Sam, been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
We're going to swap you out. Going to bring in Umar, who's been doing the interviews this evening. Umar.
Nearly knocked over the whole thing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I mean, that was quite the speech from Nelson there. He thanked everyone in the building. What did you make of it? A great knockout and a bit of a character, isn't he?
Well, a lot of it was in Albanian, so I didn't quite catch that. But I just let him take the mic. It was one of the...
Here it is, Umar. Look. Beautiful right hand. Beautiful.
Wow. Not many people do that to Bracamonte.
I think he lost his appetite in that first round. He felt the power and the strength and the aura of Hysa, and he didn't fancy it, in my view.
I'm not sure he lost his appetite in the build-up, though. He looked a little fleshier than we've seen Bracamonte in the past. But
here he goes again.
It's a measuring stick.
He's got a great jab. Look, you were bang ringside. We were over here in the studio position. It was a brilliant performance by him in lots of ways. Yeah. He's called out Derek Chisora. There's loads of Warren fighters in that 1 to 10 rankings in the world. He could fight anyone, couldn't he?
Well, look, he's calling out Derek. Everyone would like to have a go at Derek, but look, I think maybe let's see how Dave Allen gets on with Johnny Fisher. But if he doesn't come through that, what about him and Dave Allen? Because Bracamonte gave Dave Allen a brilliant fight. So I think Nelson and Dave, whether it's at York Hall or in Albania, I'd like to see that fight.
Dave Allen, do you fancy going to Albania,
I
Dave?
do. Yeah, we all go large in Tirana. I love it. Sounds like a documentary.
If they get really behind him, he could pack out stadiums there.
Yeah. You were over there in the crowd tonight. They are pound for pound. You go to Ireland, to Dublin, and the fans are amazing. Come here when it's on a night of East End action, and the British crowd's amazing. They're as good as any crowd we've ever been around.
Yeah, fantastic. So energetic. And even before Bermeta, when he boxed, the noise in here was incredible. But I think, as a heavyweight with this Albanian support, with that knockout power we've just seen, the composure as well from Nelson, it's an exciting journey, I think.
Have you got to go and do some Box Nation TV interviews now as well, or not?
I'm a free man at the
moment. You're a free man. Well, that's really good to know.
Listen, Nelson Hysa, he's made a statement tonight. This is what he wanted to do. This heavyweight division is full of characters, full of so many different journeys. You look at that top 10 right now, everyone's got their own sort of thing going on. You can make so many different fights. I'd love to see Nelson Hysa in with anyone he wants, really.
Go on, give me a name.
Umar Ahmed. Come on, for giving him the mic.
The winner of Jarrell Miller and Derek Chisora. I'd like to see him in with that.
I mean, it's a big
they probably want to
up.
progress to the next step, though, don't they? So maybe the loser. Maybe the loser.
The Dave Allen shout.
I could see those two going to Tirana for a Box Nation TV show. 30,000, a big stacked Albanian card. It would bring the house down.
Get me on that plane.
Look, he's 40 years young. That's what I like about him. He's not 40 years old. He's got an appetite and an attitude that I loved. He walked down just past us here. He gives off an aura.
He's got it, hasn't he? He's got that it factor as well. Gareth, been brilliant tonight. Thank you so much.
Absolute
wonderful.
Pleasure, sir.
What was your kind of pick of the night? It must have been Hysa, right?
Yeah, it was, or Bermeta.
Yeah.
They were both brilliant because they both went for it. They delighted the crowd. They wanted to light a fire under the fans that had come to see them tonight.
What was your pick of the night, Umar?
Pick of the night has got to be Nelson, but I just think, the show we had a couple of weeks ago, the show tonight, I think the Box Nation WBM partnership's picking up pace, and I think we're getting a really good product. Hopefully it's coming across like that on the television as well. But sitting ringside, I'm actually really enjoying these shows now. You've got a bit of everything. You've got your prospects, then you've got your 50-50 fights, and then you've got the top of the bill ones that are delivering. Like we had it with Fayek and Newman a couple of weeks ago, and obviously we got the show on December 8th. So I'm really excited about these Box Nation WBM shows. I don't know about you guys, but
loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Gareth, thank you.
Pleasure, sir.
Umar, thank you. And thank you. 2 Eagles landed here at York Hall. 2 Eagles left with stoppage wins. Nelson Hysa is a new force in the heavyweight division. The Albanian king is now still unbeaten and making his way. He even fancies a little bit of Derek Chisora. We'll see you next time.